Yeah, dude, it was crazy because my thing was like, man, they're gonna drug test me, right?
Oh
And
yeah. All right. So first of all, can you introduce yourself to?
yeah, so my name is Jaime. I'm
Uh-huh.
actually Mario's dad.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Jaime.
Jaime. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it's crazy because a lot of people spell it with an H,
Yeah, really?
dude. All the white people,
Really?
all the
Oh
white people. It
wow.
drives me up the walls, and I'm
Uh-huh.
like, where did you get this from?
Does anybody call you Jamie?
A lot too. Yes. So it's like, yeah, dude, it's crazy. And it only happened when I came here to Texas. Dude.
Uh-huh.
That's what's weird. It was like the first person that ever, like, we were doing some paperwork or something. And then I, like, why is there an H here? Whose name is this? And then I started looking at it. I'm like, bro, it's like an H. It's like, no, a J, bro. Hi, man. He's like, oh, okay, my bad. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my God. It's like
Yeah. I
Los Güeros.
the because we work with a lot of Jaimes too, and I generally ever since because I worked with white actual Jamies in Nevada. So like them, instead of calling him Jamie, I would call him Jaime.
Oh.
And like now that we have actual like Mexican Jaimes, I do vice versa.
Yeah, dude, I work a lot of people say Jamie. And I gave up. I'm like, yeah,
Thank you for the drink.
yeah,
Thank you so
man,
much.
no problem, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me here.
No, thanks for coming. It's this is still a work in progress and we're figuring it out as we go.
Bro, I'm a work in progress. So.
Yeah. We all are. We all are. Yeah. Oh man.
But yeah, man,
Cheers.
cheers, bro.
I like it. I
It's
like it
not,
a lot.
yeah, dude, it's not bad at all.
Yeah. That's gonna be the next evolution of the podcast, like getting a nice table that isn't from China.
Dude, you need to get one of those. Have you seen those tables that they do like they put like this epoxy stuff and they make that like these design. Oh my
Yes.
God, those things are
Yeah.
so beautiful, dude.
Yeah. I was looking into those. Those cost like minimum $20,000.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
no table
No.
thing.
Eventually, one day, one day, man, one day.
Dude, that's crazy. 20K for
Hmm.
dude, that's
And I'm
crazy.
sure it varies. I'm sure they could get like some kind of mold that's regular that makes it look nice, but at a cheaper price. But like the ones that where they have to get a piece of wood from a really big tree,
Right.
and then they just use like they burn the inside or they just kind of use the innards of it to make the tree look natural with
Right.
epoxy inside of it. But those types of projects are really expensive. But I don't know. I don't know how much like a made in China type.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I don't know.
Alibaba.
Alibaba. Yeah. Have you ever bought anything from
I
Alibaba?
have, dude.
Really?
There is a huge market right now going on with car parts.
Mm-hmm.
For the performance. Like I'm big into like car stuff, motorcycle stuff, car
Mm-hmm.
racing, all that stuff. There is a big market out there because a lot of the American companies will just get the stuff from over there, put their name on it and resell them.
Really?
Yes, they do that a lot on the like for rims and stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
I've known like 3 or 4 guys that have bought like $1,000 rims that if you would have bought them here, they're like $7, $8, $9,000, and
Mm-hmm.
they're dude perfect. They work perfectly. Exhaust systems, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
It gets a little tricky once you start getting into like titanium stuff and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't recommend stuff like that. But
Mm-hmm.
when it's like just like stainless steel stuff, regular stuff like that, all day long, bro. You could get it. Carbon fiber, really
Mm-hmm.
good. A lot cheaper. It's just you gotta wait for it, dude. It takes a long time.
Oh, okay.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Like,
How long generally?
dude, like if you order like a nice set of 3-piece rims, you're talking about 4 or 5 months. You're gonna wait
Mm-hmm.
easily. Where here you could just go somewhere, order in, and get it within like I don't know 4 weeks tops.
Right.
So that's the only part, the shitty part about it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, dude, it's crazy. Like I was looking at recently some rotors for some 3-piece racing rotors for my car. Over here, they want like $1,800-$1,900. I could order them for $610, I think it was. So it's like, dude, it's yeah. So a lot of people, but the problem is a lot of people are scared because they're like, "Is it any good?" And so they never buy the shit.
Yeah.
They're like, "Nah, I'll just go with the name brand stuff."
Yeah.
But they don't know they're buying the same shit, pretty much.
That's so wild because China has perfected the art of copying, like replicating stuff, like existing stuff. Like if you like something as complex as an iPhone and being able to replicate the iOS operating system on there.
Yeah.
China's able to do that easily, so easily. Same thing with watches. If you want to get a Rolex, the best type of replica you're ever gonna find is gonna be in China, and it's like the tenth, not even that, maybe like 0.5% of the price. It's so cheap.
It is, bro. It is, dude. There is a place in Saudi Arabia. I can't remember the name of it. It's like a little, I would call it like a flea market area. It's a closed door flea market. They
Mhm.
sell all replica stuff. There was a guy that did like a thing on YouTube just to show like how good their replica stuff, and he bought a Rolex. It was Submariner, which normally is like 16K, 17K here. He bought it for like 700 some bucks. Brought it to the States and took it to a pawn shop. I said, could you check if it's a good Rolex? I'm thinking about selling it. So people took it apart. Everything looks good. They start running you know how they all have serial numbers. And then that's where it started getting questionable. Well, the
Yeah.
serial number. But dude, he did that with 3 or 4 different pawn shops. And everybody was like, yeah, this looks good until they got to the serial number part. That's how good the watch was inside, dude.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, for like $700, you can have a badass watch
Uh-huh.
and fucking, you don't have to spend 16K. Really?
I wonder if they could pawn that for a profit.
Probably.
Like, even if they know it's a fake, like, how much would a
Or
pawn be willing to pay
they
for that?
won't buy it because it's illegal here. Yeah, you
Oh.
can't, like, dude, it's so illegal to like have anything replica here.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes. Dude, I'll tell you a story. You're gonna like
Yeah.
this one. We were in Arizona, me and my brother wanted to buy his wife at the time one of those like high-end Louis Vuitton purses, like a $3,000-$4,000. He didn't have the money. So he ended up finding this thing on Facebook, like on the market, thing, um, some Chinese store, right? So we go to this Chinese store to go pick up this purse, and the lady's like, "Oh yeah, come on back here." Dude, they had a sofa that they had cut open, and it's full of purses.
What the
Dude, and I'm like, "Is this legal or what are we doing here?" And dude, they had all kinds of shit. They had purses, shoes, watches, and she's like, "Yeah, what do you want?" He ended up buying this like, fake Louis Vuitton for like, I think it was like $150 or something like that. And it looked, to me, it looked good. It was good. It felt good. But yeah, dude, it was so wild. I was like, dude, this is how they freaking, it's like a movie. They're bringing all this shit in, hidden in
Uh-huh.
sofas and shit. Like, dude, it was
It's
wild.
literally contraband.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's very illegal to have replica stuff.
Uh-huh.
So that's why you can't sell it. That's why you don't see it here, like all over the market and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it's out there, bro.
Yeah, I guess because even in Mexico, like the stores and stuff, like they're able to sell replicas. Like you see replicas out on street vendor type areas all the time, but here, never.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we bought actually. My wife bought I think it was an actual Louis Vuitton. She has her own like Louis real Vuitton and stuff. But we saw
Real. Yeah, this one's real, folks. This one's real.
This one's real. But we went over there and the guy was trying to sell us one that was like, I think it was like $100 for his, and it looked really nice. But we were like kind of questioning, we knew it was fake, right? But we were just questioning. He's like, no, this is the Louis Vuitton from the Caribbean, so it's a little different. And we were like, for the Caribbean, I was like, bro, this is fake as shit, dude. But she ended up buying it and then gave it to her mom or something like that. But yeah, dude, over there, it's like open market.
Mm.
You could go anywhere. Like, dude, when we went to, is it Cosimo? I think it was, or it's a little island, Consumel. They have a bunch of stores there with replica stuff everywhere. It's like everywhere. colognes, purses, watches, those Gucci belts, dude. 20, $30, and you're wearing a freaking $800 Gucci belt. You
Yeah.
know, I don't know how long they last, but
Yeah.
at least you could sport it a couple times.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's wild over there, dude. Here, it sucks.
I wondered if it has always been the thing to overpay for materials based on name brand before, modern times. Like back in Egyptian times, did they have brands that would sell based on just, okay, this you're part of this club?
I don't know. I don't think so, man.
Uh-huh.
I think it was just more of how pretty could you make something, how unique back then.
Uh-huh.
I think that's where the market was like. It's not like, oh yeah, and it came from this guy. No, I think it was the uniqueness over there.
Uh-huh.
Like, oh, this person could do this and nobody else could do it. And I think it was worth more.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't think it was like more like yeah, it's like a name brand. I think it was more like the person that had the uniqueness, which would
Yeah.
make sense, obviously, because there
Uh-huh.
wasn't like stores back then and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But I also think a lot had to do with how rare some of like, the like the fabrics and stuff that they would get, where they got it from. I think that's where all that, the value of stuff really kicked in and stuff like that.
Mhm. But now it just seems astronomical. Like it doesn't matter what type of materials that they're like. I guess we could use a purse for example, but we could use, I don't know, like in like what would be the equivalent of a girl wanting a purse that's super expensive that a guy wants? Like what does a guy want that's just super expensive that doesn't make sense? Why it's super expensive? It's just like a maybe car, like a Bugatti
Yeah.
or something like that. Yeah, so if you want, yeah, geez, even a Bugatti.
The, the
I guess that kind of makes it because it's more of a status symbol than anything. You just kind of want to signal. It's like a signal to the outer world of like where you are in your life, and also it just looks cool as fuck.
Dude, it's all like who has a bigger,
Yeah,
we're just measuring at that point.
yeah.
But like here, we'll go into like the watches,
Hmm.
like Rolex. Are they overpriced? Yeah, somewhat. But if you really see how they make them and stuff, dude, it's wild.
Hmm.
It's really wild. All the effort they're all handmade. They're not like it's not a machine making them. They're all put together by hand. Everything is handmade. So I think that's and like stuff like that, there has to be a better value, right? And same thing with Bugattis and stuff. All those cars are handmade. They're not, it's not a machine putting all these pieces together and they know every car is like handmade piece by piece. But is it really worth $2-3 million? No, I don't think so.
I guess it depends how much you value the artisanship of it.
Yeah. It, it
Yeah.
it does, I think. And then it depends too how deep your wallet is, right?
Yeah.
If $3 million, yeah, why not? I have a
Yeah.
badass car that hardly anybody, at the end of the day, for car people, I think is how unique your car is, right?
Uh-huh.
So how many people drive a Bugatti? Not too many.
No.
So you're driving around a Bugatti,
Unless
everybody
you go to
knows.
Miami or something.
Yeah, that's a different story. Then they're like
Yeah.
everywhere, It's
Yeah.
like, but I think it's a lot. I think certain things, the value is there, but like purses and stuff like that, I don't know, dude. I don't see the value there. I
Mhm.
think it's more just the name brand. Dude, there was like this big whole hype thing I think it was like on the internet about where like Louis Vuitton and all those people were getting all their stuff and it was from like China and stuff.
Mhm.
And then they were just like kind of like doing their own little thing to it and just putting their names on it.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
it's so like Louis Vuitton, for example, got exposed for
Yeah.
like their shit isn't handmade. Like there is
Right.
no real artisanship to it at all. You're
Right.
just buying for the design and for
Exactly.
the
The
brand.
name and stuff.
Mhm.
Like, as a matter of fact, last night a friend of mine was showing me, he had just bought I think it's his girlfriend or fiance. I don't even know what she is. Um, a pair of sandals that were DNH or I don't know, some weird women brand, high end brand. $950 for a pair of sandals, dude. And he was showing me a picture of them. I'm looking like, dude, those look like raw sandals to me, dude. You're just straight up paying for that name because there's no way, there's no material worth $900 in those sandals, bro.
Yeah.
It's just impossible.
Yeah.
I don't know. So to me, all that is, I think it's more like a status symbol. That's all that is, dude.
Yeah.
Especially in women with the purses and stuff like that. All that, dude, it's like, yeah, look at mine. See, you know? What does your man get you, you know?
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Same thing with like rings, man. The wedding rings.
Mm-hmm.
I think all that is a status symbol, bro.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, really, a ring has just a symbol. Doesn't matter how big the rock is. Does it make your marriage better? Does it? No. It's just like, oh yeah, look what he bought me.
Look what he bought me.
Yeah, kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
And dude, and to me, it's like, there's nothing wrong with that, right? If you're capable of doing that, good. 100% for you. You've gotten yourself in that position to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And I don't knock people for that, bro.
Yeah.
I knock people that get in debt for stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. I was about to mention that. I was like, so, because I think I know a lot more people that go into debt for that type of stuff than I do that are.
That same guy that I told you about the sandals, like 2 hours later, he was talking to me, to us about how much he's like $40,000 in debt and credit card. And I'm like thinking,
Yeah.
Seriously? It's like
it seems, no, I think it's bad because I was also like, I was down. I was real down bad. Like way back, well, like back when I was 21, because I was married. I just got married for like not the right reasons. And I was just in a lot of debt. And then I broke up with her and then it just all spiraled out of control. And now I'm like, all right, well, now I'm like $60,000 in credit card debt. And I'm not like in the current job that I'm at, I'm not going to pay that off until I don't know when.
Right.
Like I'm just making the minimum payments on it and it just keeps on growing because like all the interest that keeps accumulating on it. I was like paying like $500 a month in interest. Like what? Like I was like, oh man, I don't know what the fuck. Then eventually I got a job at Tesla, Nevada, and then just being able to just focus on something and get really good at it, then like it eventually got me out of the situation. But my point is that amount of money in credit, specifically credit card debt, still any kind of debt, is wild. It's so wild. And I think now is just so much more, there's just more debt in everyday people than there ever has been. And it's mostly like probably out of necessity at this point. That's my situation. That was my situation back then. It's either I use the actual money that I get paid to pay the rent, and then any extra like goes to like paying the credit card debt payment, and then any extra from that is food. Yeah. So it's weird because now there's apps like I forgot what they're called, but like those apps. Now, if you order something, let's say like Wingstop,
right,
or order food on something, you get an option like Klarna, I think is one of them. You get an option to like, hey, you could pay this in 4 payments instead of paying for it all now.
I've seen that.
Yeah, so you buy dinner, which is like $60 if it's for 2 people, and you get the option of paying that $60 off over 4 months or something.
Yeah, and then that dinner ends up probably being $200 another time when you're
especially if you get late. Those late fees are no joke,
dude. It is crazy. I was the same way, dude. I was horrible with money. I'm talking about like super bad, to the point where I would get paid bi-weekly. Every bi-weekly I was calling the bank because I had an overdraft fee. Hey, can we like clear this, give me a chance. And it was bad. It was bad until.
Did they ever give you a chance? They ever
a few times, and then it was like, bro,
okay.
It was like you're calling here almost every other week, So yeah, man, it was rough. until I met my wife, Mario's mom, or
Yeah.
yeah, and everything changed then. She is a money person
Uh-huh.
and saves the money. And dude, yeah, God bless her, dude.
Yeah. That's,
Because
I think I'm in the same situation. She is the saver. She is the responsible one in
yeah,
this family, and I'm getting there. I'm getting better, but
yeah,
like I'm still pretty bad. It's
yeah,
yeah. But it makes me think of like because now Trump announced that he's going to sign an executive order to lower credit card debt immediately from whatever percentage you're at to the cap, which would be 10%. But the thing is, it's only going to be valid for a year.
yeah,
And, but like that, I don't, that tells me that, okay, it's a real, I guess it's a real enough problem to where the White House is actually like paying attention, like doing something about it, even just symbolic
right,
of like, all right, we're going to reduce it to 10%. It's either because the interest is so bad that the people are just accumulating so much debt, or that the economy is actually struggling right now. And in order to get to stimulate the economy, we need these motherfuckers to start buying a bunch more shit. So we're gonna make the cap 10% interest rate, and then people are just gonna start applying for a bunch of credit cards and fucking
that's what it is, dude.
yeah,
That's what I think when you were telling me that, and
yeah,
I've heard that too. And the first thing that came to my mind is like, dude, all they're doing is they
uh-huh,
want more people.
yep,
Because if you're like, oh, it's only 10%, fucking now I could buy a little more, and I'll pay it off at the end of the year, and then next thing you know, you're stuck again in the same boat.
yeah,
And it's, to me, what's mind-boggling is how could you have 60,000, like, and this is just a number I'm throwing out there, $60,000 in debt when a person is making $90,000 a year. How could a credit card company give that person that much money? Like, to me, there should be a percentage where, like, you make 100K, we could only lend you 10%.
yeah.
But they don't do that, do they? Like, just open up the limits, and then
I
because they
guess
know they got you.
I guess that was the whole idea behind like credit scores, right? Like if you have a bad credit score, you're not going to get any kind of a loan or anything like that. Um, but that has been like relaxed a lot,
It has.
and not only that, like those loan shark type
Yeah,
situations, like that's pretty rampant as well. And I mean, the whole idea I I don't know. I think we grew up, especially our generation, like my generation. I grew up with like if you want to make it in the U.S., like you have to take on some debt, like at the very least, just for a house.
yeah,
You want to buy a house, you have to shell up a lot of money that you're not going to be able to do. So you're going to have to get into a lot of debt to do so, and you're going to pay a certain amount of interest every time. Which I guess to a certain extent, maybe it did, like propel us into the new like the 21st century,
right.
you know. Um, but that was kind of like the limit. We already set limits for that, and then I found out like I guess this is actually not something like historically, it's not something that has ever helped like regular people is putting them in these situations where they have to accumulate a lot of debt in order just to survive. Like that, I guess historically is called usury.
Yeah.
And I just never knew anything about that.
It's just a vicious circle, bro.
Hmm.
It just keeps and keeps going. It's people, I would say easily 60-70% of the people are not gonna learn from, they're just gonna keep going and keep going. And it's just, the more relaxed you put the laws, the more you try to help them, you're not really helping them, but you're just putting a bandage. And a
Hmm.
lot of the stuff, like the whole thing, and the 10%, that's a lot of political crap.
Yeah.
It's just try to win those votes and
Yeah.
bullshit. And
Yeah. Cause the midterms are coming, huh?
yes, they are.
Oh shit. Oh, okay. I guess dang. I guess we got to pay attention.
Yeah, yeah.
Dang.
And dude, don't get me
I
wrong. I'm
forgot.
not a political guy at all.
Yeah.
I like politics a little bit, but I'm not like super smart in politics or nothing. But
Yeah.
you could just see that, you see it just miles away, dude. What they're
Yeah.
doing there, it's just BS, bro.
What?
The whole freaking all the little bandages they're trying to do, and all the
Oh yeah.
like the whole thing. Like we were just talking today, me and the wife, about. She was telling me that they were doing something where they're trying to make like nurses not on a like an essential job or something like that. And I'm like, what is all this crap that's coming out? You know, where
Yeah.
is, I don't understand. Like they're trying to make basically like a nurse, like a regular job where, you know, nurses before or now are like, it's an important role, you know, high education, you know, they got to study, where it's just a regular, like, you know, like saying a $25 hour job. And it's like, why are they doing all this now?
Oh, what, they're like reducing the pay for nurses?
They're like making them, instead of being like a critical, consider like a critical essential job or something like that. And
Uh-huh.
don't call me on this yet. I have to
Yeah.
like really get into it, because this was something we were just talking about.
Mm-hmm.
They're making it more like it's just like a regular job, like not a regular job, but not an important job. Basically, it's just, you know, not an essential job.
Mm-hmm.
Where like a doctor is like a really important essential job, so those guys get paid high money. And from what I heard, it was something that had to do with like the loans. So certain banks, like so when you go to get a student loan, right? If you want to become a doctor, they're gonna give you that money because they know you're gonna be in debt, like a lot of debt.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go and say you want to get a loan for just in arts or something like that, they're not just gonna give you an art. They're not gonna give you $100,000 for arts. They're gonna give you like maybe 20,000, 15. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know exact numbers, but
Yeah.
so that's what I think they're trying to do, where they're making the jobs of the nurses. And like I said, don't kill me on this because I might be totally up.
No, we don't know anything.
Yeah.
Anything that has ever been said on this podcast should not be taken seriously
Yeah.
because we have no idea.
Yeah.
I have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about.
So
I don't study. I don't read. I do genuinely. I don't even read. I read sometimes. The only reason I read is because of work. But yeah, no, we're all retards. We're just really, really. We just want to talk, you know.
yeah, so that was my understanding. They're making it for loan purposes, so they could so they're not lending out that much money.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I got to look into it because I have my little one that's she's about to graduate and she wants to finish her career and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, it's all this stuff. I think right now it's all propaganda for terms. That's all it is, bro.
Yeah. I mean, I think more people are waking up to like the idea of propaganda happening here in the U.S. because we were taught about that in school, or at least my generation was that we were taught about it in school, about propaganda and how like why it's bad and whatever the fuck. But we never really it was never introduced to us the idea that propaganda is being used on us actively forever.
Yeah.
And it's something that we all should be watching out for.
Dude, it has its good purpose and it has bad purposes, like everything, dude. And it sucks, man. It sucks that I'll tell you this, man. It really hurts to see what our government is doing to this country.
Mm-hmm.
But like I've told Mario before, I'm kind of in a way glad that it's all going to shit, because at the end of the day, everything has to go to shit to become a better person or a better country.
Mm-hmm.
So if you just kind of like start falling and then kind of veer back a little bit, you're never going to hit rock bottom. And then, yeah, we need to fix this whole shit. This is a disaster.
Yeah.
And I think we need that right now.
So what is rock bottom for?
I think
the
rock
US?
bottom, dude, I think we need like this is going to sound horrible, but I think we really need like a recession.
Uh-huh.
We need everything to like just kind of like back in, what was it? What year was it?
Great
Like,
Depression after the 1920s?
not as bad because that would hurt really bad, but we need something where it will wake up everybody and say, hey, bro, these politics don't give a shit. We need to start looking into like really getting politicians in there, like they care.
Mm-hmm.
Like me, dude, I'm at fault of drinking the whole Trump Kool-Aid. I was 100% Trump.
Mm-hmm.
I really thought, honestly, and to this day, I still think sometimes that he really wanted something good for this country,
Mm-hmm.
but then he just freaking just
Mm-hmm.
went off the scale, dude. And then he's
What made you think you wanted something good? Because I have an answer that really speaks to me, and I think a lot of people would agree. But what spoke to you that
well,
made you
what I really liked, he was the way he came across everything. He didn't, it was no filters, and he was like, look, dude, this everything's a disaster. We need to start, putting sanctions and all, not sanctions, like tariffs and all this stuff
But
to
like this was back in 2016?
yeah, around 16,
Uh-huh.
17.
Was he
And
talking about? Oh yeah, I guess he was. Yeah,
yes,
because he had like Lighthizer or something about that. But yeah, you're right. You're
yeah.
right.
So he was, and a lot of people are like, oh yeah, all these terrorists are gonna kill me. But then again, we're letting all these countries just rape us, right?
Mm-hmm.
A good,
Wait. What about the terrorists? Like,
I think terrorists,
oh, like that Trump was talking about
yeah,
terrorists.
terrorists,
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
I thought he was kind of like standing up for us, like saying, man, we need to start bleeding, basically, little
stop
by
bleeding.
yeah,
Uh huh.
because all these countries, like I'll give you an example. We pay like Harley Davidsons,
Yeah.
motorcycles. Uh, we have to pay like a tax for them. Like if we want to export them to sell them,
Mm-hmm.
like it's like 120%. Where China could bring anything over here and they're like they don't pay those taxes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or those fees or whatever you call them. And it's like little stuff like that. I think like that's kind of the stuff like when I saw Trump say, these tariffs and all this are going to help and little stuff like that. I was like, man, this guy kind of seems like he cares.
Mm-hmm.
But then,
Yeah, because presidents never really talk. Like
no,
not in
dude,
this
no,
generation. No one's ever
no,
really talked about tariffs.
nobody's ever talked about any of that. All the money that goes out,
Mm-hmm.
and there's still a shit ton of money that goes out of this country, right?
Mm-hmm.
To other countries that we shouldn't be doing that to. But listening to him, I was like, yeah, man, this guy is kind of like, he's like opening a door where a lot of politicians didn't want to open. And I thought that was kind of, you know, I could support that. But then he gets in office and then he starts with all this immigration bullshit. And dude, it's just off the wall. And then the whole tweeting thing needs to stop. Just, bro, if he would stop that, I think it will help him a lot. I understand that he wants to be vocal and talk, but come on, man. It's like you're too, and my bad. It's not Twitter, it's X, right?
Oh yeah, it's X
Yeah,
now. Yeah.
but
Yeah, no, but I mean, Elon's the same way. Like he also just tweets like whatever.
but here again, Elon runs a company, and he could do that. He's not
Uh-huh.
running a country,
Yeah.
you know.
Uh-huh.
And he's a badass, though.
Yeah.
There is a big difference there,
Yeah.
you know. So yeah, I think that's what kind of got me, kind of like all the stuff that he was saying, like, financially wise for the country, right? Although there's a lot of stuff that I disagree with him,
Yeah.
like what they're doing now. But sometimes I think that he does want good for this country, but I just think there's a lot of other pressure from other people that it just don't allow him to do that.
Yeah.
And I think that's with every president,
Yeah.
They all say, yeah, I'm going to do this, and then when they get in office, they really see that they can.
Well, Trump to me is the example of that there is a establishment system that has established people that all are in the same club, so to speak. That's how they ascend to the presidency. Like it's like you can try to kind of track of how this actually works and how like regular people aren't really ever really represented, especially over the last like 40 years or so.
Yeah.
But that like recently now that I'm really like politics does interest me now, and the reason being is because we vote for things. We've been voting for things, but we never get those things. Like they sell us something and then end up doing the exact opposite. And as a kid growing up, I think, well, eventually we'll learn our lesson, right? Eventually we'll vote for someone, or someone within the system will figure out how to make it to where they produce better candidates for us to vote for, and like that are actually courageous and do a bunch of the stuff that we want, but it hasn't happened. And Trump seemed like to be this like figure that was outside of that establishment norm type of situation, that he just kind of came and like busted through the wall and was like just started making a bunch of um like creating a lot of chaos in the system. Like you could see that. And that was exciting because it's like, okay, this is like for real change. Like this guy's like out of left field and no one likes him. Not even like the establishment figures do not like him. CNN, like even Fox initially didn't like him. So everybody did. So you saw this like allergic reaction from the establishment when Trump came. And then once he had that initial debate where he called out all the people on stage saying that they're all bought and paid for by the same people inside that room that were watching them do the debate, and then everybody started booing him, and he's like, just uh, the only reason they're booing me is because they can't buy me or some shit like that,
Right.
and that was super exciting, and then he said that like he gave a like the first diagnosis that ever made sense to me about why we were in Iraq, why we were in Afghanistan, why those wars happened. And he was like the first major politician that was on that stage that said that that was a mistake.
Yeah.
And you guys really fucked up with that. And that like that was like turns out to be like that is what makes you persona non grata. Like this guy, yeah, fuck, this guy cannot become president. So after that happened, that's when they really, really, really started to come after him. And then once he eventually did become president, yeah, there was a lot of chaos or whatever, but he definitely didn't start any new wars. And that's what really put me over the edge, is that he was the only president that like for a long time that did not start a new war. Every president before him, up until like JFK or something, they have all started new wars. Um, and that to me was pretty fucking wild. That made me realize, okay, so the system is very corrupt and very scary. Like this, like it is a very scary place to operate. There's scary to have relationships with people that are bad people, but you have to play ball with them in order to get anything done. People like Jeffrey Epstein, and so that made me realize, okay, uh, that this is a scary environment to play with. So I guess I can understand. I can try to empathize why Trump does some stuff like sometimes that is against of whatever he said in the past. Because to me, it almost seems like he's playing like he's trying to make deals, right? Like, all right, I'll make my people hate me so long as you like do this, for
Right.
example. And that's kind of how I'm seeing him right now, is that he's making all these deals. But the thing is, like, and especially initially, it seems like they're all very lopsided deals. They all seem very like bad deals. Whatever deal he made with Israel and Bibi Netanyahu and all the like the bullshit we're doing over there, and how many times Bibi comes to the White House, and like the type of deals that he's doing to make that ceasefire happen in Gaza. Like it seems like he has to sell his soul in order to get that done, and to me that's like I think I felt like I lost my point, but I think you were following
Yeah,
to
yeah, I
like
am.
I guess yeah, there's a reason why Trump is popular and people really believed him. And a lot of people still do believe him, but he is really fucking up a lot lately.
He
A
is.
lot.
Well, you got to think about it. He has to make both sides happy a little bit, right?
Yeah, but
That-
like right now it's atrocious. Like when he said that the Jeffrey Epstein files was a hoax,
yeah.
like that's when it's like, all right, dude, like
Yeah, you're
where's the laser point? Like, okay, are you about to get like murdered? Is this what you're telling us right now? Like, what would compel him to say, all right, like Jeffrey Epstein, like, just doesn't exist? Like, what are you guys talking about? It's a hoax. It's a hoax. It's very disturbing. It's very disturbing. The pedophile thing is just.
Dude, it's screwed up.
Mhm.
And you know what, dude? I really think that stuff has been going on forever,
Mhm.
especially at those levels. I think all those, and it's sad to say because we support some of these politicians, but I think a lot of them, bro, like I would say more than half are all involved in shit like that, dude.
Mhm.
I think it's a power trip, bro. It's I have power, which is something that I really have a hard time with understanding. No, I'm good right now, man. Thank you.
Understand.
It's hard for me to understand with people like the same thing when people have a lot of money and then end up doing like stupid shit, molesting kids and stuff. It's like, bro, you have all this money in the world. Why are you doing shit like this? And I think those politicians, all of those fucking guys are like, you know, they're horrible like that, dude. They're they feel like they're in top of the world and they could do whatever.
Uh-huh.
And it's sad that a lot of kids suffer because of that shit. And it's something that dude, it eats me up.
A lot of kids that have, like, crossed the border.
Yeah, bro.
They a lot of kids have crossed the border, and when they don't have, like, their parents with them 'cause they've been used
Yeah,
to get, over the border as, like, "Oh, yeah, these are my kids," or whatever.
yeah,
Since they don't have a parent for them, and since, like, the cages was a bad look on administrations, especially during the Biden administration, they they started giving away these kids to just random people. And like one guy can sign off for like 12 little girls. Like, yeah, I'll take care of her. I'll
that's
take care of all of them.
yeah,
Where do I sign?
that's
So
terrible.
there's just so many kids that just got black marketed all like through the border, over like before, because now the border's closed, right? Like now no one can pass through. But like during the Biden years, like people that would go over the border and kids that would just get stranded there, they were just auctioned off to, not even auctioned, they were just given away
Yeah.
to like random people. There was not a whole lot of due diligence happening.
Dude, it's yeah, it's scary. I don't know if you ever saw that movie, something it's called something Silence, I think.
Mhm.
It's about how these it's about trafficking kids basically,
Mhm.
and how it's almost kinda like the Epstein thing, where they traffic all these kids from all over the world, and they end up in this island where all these rich people once a year all migrate to and, do whatever they want with the kids.
Oh, is it that, by the Angel Pictures thing?
I think it
It was
is.
a white like, the main character was a white guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that movie when we saw it, me and the wife saw that movie, dude, that thing was so, it's so eye-opening, but so depressing
Mhm.
to that I just don't understand that, dude. I don't understand how people would do that to such a I don't know, to an innocent person, bro. A person that can't defend themselves,
Mhm.
basically. And it's to this day, I still people like that, it's like, man, I don't know. When it comes to our justice system for that, bro, I'm harsh with stuff like that.
You're harsh with
Yeah,
stuff like
dude,
that?
I'm like, any pedophile, dude, dude, get
Done.
rid of him. No
Done. Yeah,
questions asked.
did you watch the one with, Mario and Carlos, Lara? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that stuff is, bro. No, I and what's the point? I don't know, man. I just don't. It's very hard for me to understand that stuff. There's like very few things in life for me that it's hard to understand at this level
Mhm.
or at this point in my life, and that's one of them. That's very hard for me to like. I don't know. It's rough, dude.
Yeah. There's I believe that the pedophilia thing in the like the bigger like the powers that be around the world is a bit, it's like a regular thing, like it's part of the thing. It's like if you want to be running around in those circles, you have to accept some pedophilia, that you will see it or you will like be associated with it at some point. But I didn't realize it until recently, until the Epstein thing. And then I also recently found out that, well, I don't know how recent, but do you know who John Podesta is?
I've heard of him. Yes.
Well, he his house like is full of like these depraved paintings of like for this example, like this is one of his paintings inside his house.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
The fuck?
Yeah, dude. That, this,
What is wrong? You see,
This is his pool, I guess.
Jesus.
This was this is actually Epstein's. These are Epstein's paintings. This is one of Podesta's paintings.
My God. Dude, if I walk in somebody's house and I see that shit, we're going to have a big problem.
Yeah.
A very big problem.
What if you walk into someone's house and they have this sculpture overhead?
Which one?
This one right here. Because this one is a replica of this.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, dude, I think we're going to have a big problem, bro.
Yeah.
Dude, anything that even slightly,
Dude.
yeah, you see, dude, that's some, I don't know, dude. I don't know what the fuck's wrong with this world.
Yeah.
It's stuff. Yeah, bro. I don't. I have zero tolerance for shit like that.
Yeah.
And I'll pick up a couple felonies for shit like that, bro. No problem.
Yeah.
Without thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
I think a lot of people would.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Did you ever follow that Aaron Hernandez story?
I didn't follow it completely, but I know that there's a whole kind of movie kind of thing based on his story, but I didn't really get into it too much.
Mhm. Well, I didn't get into it like really too much either, but I think like the reason he murdered someone, I think, was because that person like molested his daughter or something.
That's what I heard too.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I'm sure any father would do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the whole Hernandez thing was fucked up, man. That guy, I just think he can never get, obviously what he did, if it was for that reason, he has my support, or have my support, I should say.
Yeah.
But I think he can never get he was also, from the hood, bro. He was a hardcore hood guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people like that, and like I said, this is just my opinion. Hood people, you can never get the hood out of a person, bro. And that's why you see a lot of sometimes football players and stuff like that are like get into all this stupid shit. They're millionaires and they're like doing gang banging shit and stupid shit like that because you're not gonna get that. It's a rush, bro. That's what it is. All that stuff is a rush.
Yeah.
So it makes them, some people need that,
Mm-hmm.
and it sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So some people, like growing up in the hood, it just exposes you to a lot of adrenaline,
it does, bro. It really does.
and it becomes addicting.
It does.
Yeah.
I grew up in a neighborhood which was pretty hood, back in Miami, uh, south of Calle Ocho, which was hood. And dude, all my friends were just really bad people, really into not good stuff. Let's just say that a lot of drug stuff. And dude, that stuff when you're young, attracts people. I'm not going to say everybody, but it attracts, the bad, oh, I'm a badass and, we can do all this shit. And I think it's like an adrenaline rush, basically. And some people don't grow out of it, and some people do. And that's something that's always going to be there, man. It's always, because I don't want to blame the parenting, because my parents were super good with me, but I think the parenting, there has to be some good, very good structured parenting to try to keep kids away from that stuff. Does it work all the time? No. A kid's going to do whatever he wants at the end of the day. But I think if you set a foundation for your kids really good, and like I said, bro, I'm not knocking on my parents, bro. I love my parents, they're my step parents, but I still love them. But I think, if they would have been a little different, maybe it would have been a little different.
Yeah.
But I don't regret none of that.
Yeah.
It was all good times.
Yeah.
It was good learning.
Yeah, we were talking about that too during the Mario Carlos podcast of parenting, like breaking the cycle type of a mentality of Yeah, it's I don't know, it's okay. Our parents didn't figure it out. The next generation didn't figure it out. This next generation, they figured it out a little more, and now I'm really gonna figure it out. Um, I don't know. I hope that that's like real, or I don't know. Maybe it's just part of the whole thing. It could just be an environment because if you like the ghetto, the ghetto's a ghetto for a reason. How did it become a ghetto? Was it just like like low level people like created that place, or was it created? Was it um like did the powers that be create the environment for that to flourish, for the ghetto to flourish? And more as I like grow up, I start to think that this was like self-inflicted. Like it was inflicted by the powers that be, by organizations, by the government or what have you. Like that Iran Contra scandal.
Yeah.
Have you heard of that?
A little bit, not too much on it, but
Yeah.
yeah. I I do agree on certain point with that. I think certain places were created like that.
Mhm.
They cost like let's be honest, like black neighborhoods. Why are there liquor stores everywhere? Why are there like, pawn shops everywhere?
Mhm.
It just creates that atmosphere. Like if you put a liquor store in every corner, people
Mhm.
are gonna eventually become alcoholics and then start doing stupid shit.
Yeah.
So do I think, yeah, a lot of neighborhoods were created like that to control the people, control certain race, certain
Or like the music that was kind of popular, very like the gangster rap. I
right.
think that that had a negative effect as well. And it was
Yeah.
it was it was pushed. It was highly pushed. The music industry was all about it.
Dude, they were, bro.
All about. I mean, the music industry is almost like I think it's almost as evil as, or maybe it's part of the government. I don't know, but the music industry is like evil as fuck too.
Well, here's the thing. If you put out a song saying go kill cops, right? And
Hmm.
you start brainwashing all these young kids, eventually what are you gonna get? You're gonna get a bunch of kids trying to kill cops, trying to
Hmm.
kill people, trying to go rob them, do drugs. They hear all these songs where, oh yeah, drugs, we're doing this, everything looks beautiful, right? You paint this picture. All these kids, why not? Yeah, I want that, bro. Hell yeah. It's like, cartels and stuff like that make everything look real good at first, but there's you know, a whole bad part about it, dude, that they don't tell you about, right?
Hmm.
So music is it's bad, bro. I to a certain point, music it's don't get me wrong, music is beautiful too, but on young kids, music had influenced kids to do a lot of stuff. And it's but then it gets back again to me, it gets back to
To the parents,
to
yeah.
the parents, bro. To the parents. Like with my kids, man, I'm strict with my kids. I was really strict with Mario, believe it or not. And sometimes I think I was a little too much. But like I sit down sometimes and I even talk to my wife and I was like, if I compare my kids right now to how what I was doing at their age, my kids are an angel. And it's like I'm blessed for that, dude.
Yeah.
You know? Do as parents always want more from our kids? Yeah, of course. We want the best for them. We want them to be but if for in my case, if I look back, I'm like, dude, my kids are doing 100% better than I did at the age they're in right now, you know?
Hmm.
And so it's something that I think parents have to have a better relationship with their kids. They have to, dude.
Yeah.
I know we are all busy, we work, but you have time to sit down and watch TV. You should have time to sit down and talk to your kids, man.
Yeah.
Have that relationship where your kids, if they have a problem, they come to you. If kids go out to and have a problem and go to their friends and stuff, they're gonna listen to their friends, whatever advice they're gonna. And guess what? If their friends are giving them bad advice, they're gonna take that bad advice. And I think that's where same thing with the schools, man. Kids or their parents are not involved with with the schooling thing. They just leave their kids at school, like a daycare,
Hmm.
and then just come pick them up. You
Yeah.
have to be involved with them.
I've been really hard on this idea of making community schools, like you, like let's say you and 4 or 5 other pairs of parents. You guys are all just fed up with the school system. Like, fuck this. How about we just try to convince that one teacher that we all really like to quit their job at the school and work full time for you guys to be able to pay that person a salary and them try to put your kids through a curriculum so that then at the end of the year they'll be able to pass whatever standardized test that the state imposes. But not only that, if your kids are progressing with them a lot better than any of you guys anticipated, so you have extra time. Maybe you get more like elective type stuff. Like, all right, well, as they're growing up and learning about math and all this stuff, I also want them to learn about mechanics, about how to fix stuff, how to, be handy about stuff,
Yeah.
like fundamental type stuff like that. Then okay, well, all right. So let's give the kids half the day to the regular teacher that teaches them math, or maybe like split them apart, and then the other half of the day is someone who is very handy, who knows how to use tools, who knows how to fix things, like
I
that type of stuff.
That's interesting, actually. I
Mm-hmm.
think that would be pretty interesting to do something like kind of like
Because you're forced to be more involved in it because
yes.
you're so much closer to like the educator in this case.
Well, and another thing, you don't have 20 some 30 kids in one class, right? I think
Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
BS, bro.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, that would be kind of interesting. That's the whole trade thing. Dude, I'm 100% with that, dude.
Mhm.
I think, yeah, you should have your math and your English for sure. You got to have a basics in that. Do you need calculus? Mm, dude, I took calculus and I went to a private school and I got all the way to the first part of calculus. Do I use calculus now? I've never used calculus in my life. But you have to have your basic math and English. I think that's good. But
Mhm.
aside from that, dude, I think it should be all about like real life stuff like trades and stuff like that. I think that's what develops a kid.
Mhm.
Any kid could read a book and figure out a math thing. You give a kid something that has to use their hands and stuff, you stimulate their brain, I think, a lot better.
Mhm.
And it's better for them, dude. How many I know this is kind of sad, but I know a couple of guys that work for me at work that don't even know how to change a freaking spare tire.
Mhm.
And they're mid 20s. And dude, I could remember when I was like 14, I was changing spare tire. Dude, I was working on building a motor when I
Mhm.
was like at that age.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that, dude, that we don't do nowadays. And it sucks. It's makes, I think they do it. And this is where I think it's, they're creating more like an environment where you dumbify people so they depend on other people.
Yeah.
And I think that's a recipe for disaster.
It's like the ultimate conspiracy that I think we're all falling into. Like
The
me, you, Mario, everything. Like they're trying to get us to this point where well, the Charles Schwab or whatever his name is, the World Economic Forum, and it's like you will own nothing and you will love it
yeah.
and you'll like it. You'll like it. You'll like not owning stuff.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy, bro. And you know what's even sadder that parents that are in my generation don't see it.
Mhm.
They just I don't know, they go with the flow.
Yeah. What generation would you consider yourself in?
Well, I was born in 76, so I don't know, that would make me what, a Gen Z
Gen Z, I think
or
is the
Generation X actually is.
X. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think you're Generation X. Wow. Yeah, yeah. You're Generation X, and
Yeah.
then the generation above you are the Boomers.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, because I think I don't know. I think it all started with the Boomers because the Boomers really just got the spoils of what America, like what peak America was. Like they all have like the houses that they bought back in the day that are now worth 400, $500,000 that they paid what like 50 or so,
Yeah.
like at the time. It they have stuff to play with, no, but it's not like their fault necessarily. It's just whenever like you introduce just immense comfort to a society, it just it kind of numbs them to like real life, you know, like what the costs are for this comfort and how we got here and how we're gonna evolve from here. It's like you lose that hunger to keep moving forward.
Yeah, you do, dude. And yeah, those people, that generation had it a little easier, I think. I'm not gonna say a lot easier
Hmm.
because you got to remember back then too, people were making way less money too. So
But everything wasn't as expensive,
no, it wasn't.
like
It
at
was
all.
like, dude, me and Mari get in these arguments about this all the time.
Oh, really? This is awesome because I get into this argument with my boss all the time. We're always
yeah.
like, yeah, but it's not even an argument
No,
though. It's
it's
just
like
like different perspectives on it.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
And it's so cool because he's always like telling me like, dude, you had it made.
yeah.
And I'm like struggling and I'm like, and it's like, I see his point. I do.
Uh huh.
But here's the thing too. When I bought my first house, I paid $90,000 for the house,
Yeah.
but I was making $10, I think $11 an hour. So by the time I was done paying the bills, I was broke.
Hmm.
I lived off of ramen pretty much for a long time.
Yeah.
So to say, yeah, that some people did. Yeah. And the prices of houses did go up,
Yeah.
but the prices of the houses nowadays are still, well, right now it's on a downside really, but they went up too around this generation. So I think it's yeah, it might have been a little easier, but I think that it was a lot easier. No, I don't
Yeah.
think so.
Well, what do you think it is then? Because like now the average home buyer, like the average first time home buyer is 40 years old.
It, dude,
Whereas opposed to during that time, like the average home buyer was, early 20s.
all right, I'm gonna tell you what I think,
Yeah. No, tell me, tell me, tell me.
and a lot of people might disagree with me.
Yeah.
I think is our generation today doesn't want to work as hard as the older generation.
Right.
And I could tell you from experience, man, I'm a supervisor in my job. I'm always hiring people.
Hmm.
And I'm not going to knock all of,
All of Gen Z.
no, yeah, I'm not going to knock them out because I got a couple of guys that are workhorses,
Yeah.
but a big number of them, man, don't want to work hard.
Yeah.
And they just want a lot of money.
Yeah.
They come in and they're like, I want to make what this guy's making. I want to make $50 an hour, but I don't want to do half of his responsibilities.
Yeah.
And it's like, it doesn't work that way, bro.
100%.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't. And then they come in and get comfortable and they don't want to progress. Where you see a lot of older guys like, the guys in their 40s, 50s just want to keep working and I want to progress, I want to make more money and more, and they work hard, dude.
Yeah.
And like I said, not everyone is like that, dude. Because I got two kids that are like 22 years old that are monsters working.
Yeah.
Monsters. But a lot of them are not, dude. I'm not. And I think that's what causes. I think anybody's capable of buying a house these days.
Hmm.
You just got to work hard for it.
Yeah.
Do you have to work a little harder than we used to? Maybe you do.
Well,
But
it's not. I don't think it's so. Yeah, I would agree that there's a lot of people who just don't have that work that type of mentality of just like I'm here to suffer. Like I'm
yeah,
here to I'm here to get after it. You know. But I also think like I think our like at some point college started to get emphasized a whole lot more than the trades.
yeah,
And the trades eventually got to this point where it's like it was an icky thing. Like, oh, I don't want to like be a car mechanic. Like it was never really like it was viewed as okay, you're a loser if you go to Votech, or at
right,
least it was like in my environment or whatever. Like, because even parents would not like if they had a choice of having you go to Votech or having you go to some college somewhere to get a degree, a bachelor's degree in something in business or something like that. Parents want you to go to college. They don't want you to go, work at a tire shop and, try to eventually or become or work for some electrician to eventually become a journeyman electrician or something like that. It was mostly like, hey, no, what you need to do is college. So college, all right, okay, all right, we'll do college. All right, we don't have the money for it, but you could get this guaranteed loan,
Yeah.
and it's just like you're gonna get the loan, like that they have to give it to you,
Right.
and and you could go to college and eventually you could get a good job. And all right, well, let's do that. Go to college and like get like a business, some kind of business degree or whatever.
Right.
Now you're what, like 30, 35, 40 years old. You're a receptionist for some dentist or something with a business degree. Like like these college these degrees, they're not paying off as much as we all
Yeah.
thought, and the interest is real on those things, and like the payment, like if you have a college like debt, it's not just a little harder. It's probably a little, like a lot harder to be
Yeah.
able to purchase a home or whatever. But I think that's also, like, I don't think that's a parent like type of problem, because they were also kind of sold on the idea like, hey,
Right.
you want your kids to be doctors, you want your kids to be like directors in a company or something, you want your kids to be scientists and work in academia and stuff like that. You want your kids to be smart,
Right.
and college is the best way to go about it. But I think it, especially like, because it's also on the kids that ended up buying into some college degree that isn't worth a shit. Like
That's the
people that
problem.
go into the arts, or that get into some like anatomy or like language degree or something. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, because there is an intellectual side of the archaeology. There's intellectual science of all this stuff, but like you got to understand that you're not going to get rich off of that. You're not
Right.
going to make an awesome living being an archaeologist, unless you're really good at it and you become famous for it. It's like, okay, maybe, but that's pretty hard. I want to be a baseball player when I grew up,
Right.
but like who, like how is that? Yeah.
What are the
Um,
odds of it?
what
Yeah.
are the odds of that? So yeah, I think what really fucked the generation was this idea that college was going to solve all their problems, and but I mean, not just that, but along with like the inflation and
Yeah.
us printing more and more money. Like I blame the banks more than anything of just getting the United States more and more debt and dependent on debt, and making the whole system about debt, to where it's like, okay, you wanna actually, make it into something, you're gonna have to, risk it for the biscuit and get into a lot of debt, and if it doesn't
Right.
work out, sorry about you.
Yeah. It's the whole college thing. I think it's a lot of people weren't educated correctly on the college thing, right? Like you were
Yeah.
saying, they have all these degrees that are worthless,
Mhm.
and all these kids are getting in debt for these degrees that are, when they get out, they're making $20 an hour. Yeah, it's not like I push my daughter 100% to go to college. I
Mhm.
do. But what I tell her is if you're going to go for a business or something, don't go to college. Just don't. You're wasting your money. If you're going to go to college, either, do an something engineering, like mechanical or something like that. Or, if you want to be a doctor or something, then go for stuff like that. But anything else, don't go to college.
Mhm.
You're just wasting. Go to a trade school. And I think that's where the disconnect is. A lot of our generation got sold on the, oh yeah, any college degree, you're good. So
Yeah.
then we push that on our kids. Yeah, go to college. And I know family members that are, oh yeah, my kid has a business degree.
Yeah.
Where does he work? How much money does he make? And then when they tell you, it's like, I could probably have done that without going to college.
Yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of kids got messed up. But aside from that, too, colleges are extremely expensive for what it is, bro.
Yeah. Just
Um,
yeah.
it's too much money, I
It's
think.
a scam.
For a doctor degree, well, I don't know. I I hope that, and this is just me saying, I hope that for the money they're paying, that they're teaching a doctor really how to, do what they need to do, because they're
Yeah.
working on a person.
I hope they're producing the best doctors in the world, you know?
Right. For,
Yeah.
paying 200K, 300K in
Yeah.
student loans.
But are they? Does America have the best doctors in the world?
I think we have, man, that's a hard one.
Yeah.
I think we have in the private sector good doctors,
Uh-huh.
in the good, like, expensive places.
Uh-huh.
But I think this whole thing of, like, creating a government that, you runs the whole, like, healthcare system, I think that creates really bad doctors.
Yeah.
I'm dude, and I know a lot of people don't agree with me, but I'm a big private sector. I think healthcare should be all privatized, kinda,
Yeah.
but I
Uh-huh.
think it should be regulated to the point where they're not raping people either.
Yeah.
But I think when you have a private healthcare, I think you produce better doctors, better because you're not kinda like, if you go and tell like, government says, "Hey, man, all these doctors," let's say you're gonna have, I don't know, let me see, like, a knee replacement, let's just say. You could only charge this. And I think that creates a whole of incentive to doctors who's like, well, why am I going to become a badass knee surgeon when I'm still can only charge this?
Yeah.
And that's like when you see all the athletes get all these operations and shit, they go to like they pay a lot of money, but they get the top notch shit. They're getting the badass knees, the badass back replacements, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that's because there's not that push of, you're only allowed to do this or charge this, and it takes away from like, the motivation of becoming a better doctor.
Mhm.
And but then it's like a double-edged sword too. But then you can't have either a doctor, if you think about it, if a doctor's gonna say, yeah, I'm a badass doctor, I do badass knee replacement, but it's $1 million to get a knee, then that's that's jacked up too,
Yeah.
because who has $1 million, right?
Mhm.
But I think that option for, I th I'm not a big, like, healthcare, let the government, pay for it, I'm a big private guy when it comes to healthcare.
Yeah. I think where people get lost is in that public-private divide that where like I think people assume that it that is the issue. Like that is where we need to really figure it out. But where what RFK made me realize is that you know who RFK
Yeah,
is?
yeah,
Yeah, he made me realize that it's not like a private public thing. Like yeah, that is something that we have to like address at some point. But the thing that's raping you right now is not like the doctors or anything. It's the insurance companies and the pharmaceutical companies that make these structures to where you're kind of dependent on them to be able to survive. You know, you were talking or you started talking about earlier about your pain meds that you needed.
yeah,
It's like the doctors, surgeons, they're not there to really cure anything. They're really there to put band-aids on stuff. Um, and I think that's kind of where our focus should be is like how did we get to a place where doctors aren't people here to cure your illness, they're here to put band-aids on everything. And why are we so um like why do we view what is a majority of like amount of Americans feel like these pharmaceutical and these insurance companies are like good entities, like good for us as a society. Like why like especially the pharmaceutical companies have been caught doing some like dirty shit, giving us some real fucked up shit
yeah,
that do a lot worse than what they're prescribed to do and they have a history of doing this for a while. And then not only that, like back when Reagan was president, like going into this vaccine, venturing into this vaccine thing, the pharmaceutical companies gave the president an ultimatum like, hey, if you want a pharmaceutical industry here in the US, you're going to have to make vaccines. You're going to have to give vaccines immunity to any kind of lawsuit.
yeah, that's bullshit.
So either give us immunity or we're all going to go bankrupt. So Reagan ended up signing the bill to to give immunity to all pharmaceutical companies over like vaccine products. But not only that, over time, ever since then, it wasn't just one vaccine that your baby need as soon as they were born. It's not 2 vaccines that your baby needs as soon as they're born. It's not 3. It's 72 vaccines. You need to give 72 vaccines to your newborn baby, including a hepatitis B shot that is only sexually transmitted
Right.
or through the blood. You have to give it to them. It's recommended by the CDC.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. Like, they really just, snake their way into this position of trust, and they really fucked us over.
Dude, it's because they don't care. All they
Yeah.
want is money.
Yeah.
It's a greed thing. And
Mhm.
it's like, they just don't care what they're giving us, bro. Like, yeah, a lot of medication, especially like depression medication, that stuff is horrible for you, dude. Like super bad. And people know it, and doctors know it. And what do? They're like, yeah, here, have it. Because they don't and it goes back, I think, again, to your doctors, right? There are some doctors out there that do want to help people, but then they have all these roadblocks. And then it creates, like, a problem for them, even getting them, possibly in problems with law and stuff. So what's easier for them to do? Just give you the medication.
Yeah.
And then they're all protected, which kind of sucks. Yeah, it's sad, dude. It's like, I'll give you an example. My back, I have a messed up back. I have a bunch of discs that are all messed up and stuff. And for the past 15 years, I've just been doing a bandage on it.
Mm.
Recently, like about 2-3 years ago, my doctor was like, yeah, you need a fusion. And I was like, well, if I do a fusion, then 2-3 years down the road, then my other discs are going to be bad because of the fusion. Then I'm going to need another. He goes, yeah, but you need a fusion. I was like, that's not a fix.
Yeah.
You're just telling me to do something to fix it, so later on I could come back and give you more money. And when we're talking about more money, we're talking about like $100,000 money,
Yeah.
So then, about a year and a half ago, I found out that, so in Europe, they've been doing disc replacements for 5, 6, 7 years, around there. Basically, where they rip out your disc, put a new disc, and they're artificial disc, kind of like a knee replacement kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it doesn't affect any of your discs, your lower discs. Not like a fusion where they're like putting, 2 rods and putting a bunch of screws in your back, and then you're putting all that weight onto the rest of the disc. Now, this is just like having a regular disc. So I was like, okay, cool. This is a good fix. Tiger Woods, he's a big guy that ended up doing, I think it was like a 2-3 disc replacement, and he plays sports still.
Yeah.
So I went out here to Dallas to his doctor, as a matter of fact.
Tiger Woods' doctor?
Yeah.
Oh,
Here
wow.
back in Dallas.
Uh-huh.
So I went over there. He's like, yeah, did all my paperwork, and yeah, do you need 2 discs? I said, all right, let's do it through the insurance. Insurance comes back and was like, yeah, we don't cover this. You got to have a fusion. I'm like, what do you mean a fusion? I was like, a fusion.
Insurance is the one forcing you to go for the fusion.
Insurance, bro. So my doctor was like, look, I'm going to request a board with all the doctors. And the insurance have like a board with their doctors where they could sit down and argue the case. Dude, he sits down, argues the case with them. Insurance said, nah, fusion will be the best solution for him. And the doctor was like, no, dude. Fusion is going to cost him more to have another operation down the road. And they're like, no. And the price is pretty close to the same thing, dude. And they just won't cover it. And it's like, that's why I think a lot of the times, like insurances, big pharma, all those are all tied up together, dude.
Yeah. They want you to get a fusion because eventually you're going to need insurance again to get the next fusion. And yeah, no, they're kind of herding cattle. They're just putting cattle through the system.
That's what they're doing. Yeah. That's all they're doing, dude. And it sucks because there's doctors out there. Like that same doctor says, well, dude, if you want, I could do it, but you're going to have to pay out of pocket, But like, it's something kind of new over here in the US, even though in Europe, they've been doing it already for a long time. It's a shit ton of money. It's like 7.
Well, I mean, in Europe, the only reason they're able to do that is because we pay for the military.
Yeah. That is true. That is so true.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's sad that we're in a place like that, especially America, right? America is supposed to be the badass place. We're number one supposedly, and it's not that, dude.
Yeah.
It isn't. It went away a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do we have a lot of freedom? Do we have compared to other? Yeah, we do. But to say we're the best,
Yeah.
no, dude, we're not.
Yeah.
We need to fix a lot of problems. I
Like,
hear.
how do you feel about like talking about the healthcare issue before we go? The the healthcare CEO that got murdered.
All right.
It's just about the situation. Yeah, just tell me what you think, and then we'll go.
Look, I
deeper
don't want
into it.
anybody to die, right?
No,
I
no,
don't.
yeah,
When you put a person in a situation like that, I'm meaning, the guy that shot him, his mom, I think it was his mom or something that had back problems and stuff, and the insurance didn't want to pay it, help her. You're gonna get that outcome, and it sucks. We go back to why isn't insurances, and I'm sure there's a bigger picture to all this, but why isn't our insurances, our doctors fixing people? Because there is a fix to all that. They just don't want to. Do I agree to the point? Actually, I'm gonna grab some nice food. Do I agree to the point that he should have killed that person? No, probably not.
Yeah.
But did he create like a little movement, kind of open people's eyes out? Yeah, I think he did.
He did, huh?
I think we needed that. As sad as to say that, yeah. Yeah.
Oh shit, my bad.
You're good, bro. You're good.
I'm fucking retarded. Sorry.
Oh my God, I'm all over the place here. Yeah, dude, I think that movement was a good. Like I said, I don't want anybody hurt. Yeah. But I think it was.
Like, it was a good jolt. It was a good like wake up call for a lot of people.
It was, and that was awesome. In the way that it opened up eyes. The sad part is, did it fix anything? I don't think so. But it opened up people's eyes and realized that, yeah, dude, this is messed up, dude. And are you gonna have somebody suffering, dude, when you know you could fix them?
Yeah.
And you just don't want to because you just want to keep them, on pills.
Put them in the system. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. And it's sad, dude. Like I said, I see shit like that, and it's like, man, this country, that's not what we're about. We're about progressing, and we're not.
Yeah.
We were going backwards.
100%. Yeah. No, this is the first time I ever really talk about like healthcare, the healthcare system ever. But really, what made me what articulated my thoughts entirely was a song by this guy named Jesse Wells. We haven't gotten we tried to get Mario into this guy, but he hasn't really hopped on the bandwagon yet. But he made this song. I highly recommend it.
Dude, that is so true, bro. That is that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah. And he's just some random like kid who just started, making music and videoing himself on like in the woods or whatever, and now, dude, this video got 930,000 views.
Wow. What is the name of that video?
His name is Jesse Wells. He got to like Rogan found out about him and invited him on the podcast.
Really?
Yeah, and then that like also like propelled him to a new level.
Wow. Dude, it is true though, man. Dude, everything's so fucked up, man.
Yeah.
It's yeah. I keep telling myself we need to get to that point where we're like, okay, enough is enough. But we don't get there. It just seems like it keeps dragging and dragging. And that's why I keep telling myself, well, we need to really hit like rock bottom. Everything needs to fall apart. But then again, a lot of people suffer when that happens, and it sucks. But sometimes you got to see it the long term, right? And to fix something, it has to. The same thing with like, let's say addiction and stuff, right? A lot of people don't fix themselves until they hit rock bottom, right? So that's kind of the same thing I kind of think. I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but yeah, something has to
For
change.
countrywide.
Yeah, it's just fucked up, man. It's
Hmm.
sad. It's sad that we've gotten this way.
Yeah,
It needs to change.
yeah. I think this is why going back to the whole economic aspect of it. I think this is why it like has produced a lot of doomers or like a doomer mentality in the next generation. In that, hey, we are like legit,
Yeah,
legit. Like we're fucked in a big way economically, like foreign policy wise, like the health insurance wise. Um, it just seems very bleak for a lot of people, and I think that that also plays into why a lot of young kids, like not young kids, but like a lot of my generation or just like generation under me, like they're not having a lot of kids. Like kids isn't a big thing in their like future because well, I mean, one we just kind of forgot why like, it's a beautiful thing to have kids, and then the other reason is because, a lot I hear a lot that, why do I wanna bring a child into such an evil world right now? Not just evil world, but into such a bad situation. Like, I know it's not gonna be good for me in the future, but, like,
right.
why do I wanna bring a child in here so like, when it's so much worse, and when it gets even worse or whatever? But not just here in the US, it is, like, dropping birth rates all over the world.
Yeah, you need. Here's the thing, man. I know a lot of people think that. Like it, as a matter of fact, right before I came here, my daughter was saying, "I don't think I ever want to have kids,"
Yeah.
and I was like,
Yeah,
"This is
that's
interesting."
being sold to a lot
Yeah,
a lot.
and my thing is, yes, they're coming into a world that's kind of chaotic right now, and it's probably going to be a little more chaotic. It's going to get more chaotic for sure, I think. But here's the thing: having a kid changes people. The right people, right? There's some people that just have kids and don't give a shit and just whatever. But I think having kids, and I'm not. And let me go back here a little bit. You got to be economically, you got to make sure you're good to have, money wise and everything, right? You don't want to have a kid and not be able to, buy food for the kid or anything, right? But
Yeah.
if you're in that position,
But even the poor people, or like I think it's also important for them to have kids. Like
it is. Yeah, I think it changes people. And I think that's what we need. I'm not saying everybody have kids is gonna change everything, but I think when you don't have kids, you think totally different, man.
uh,
You're more like, I wanna say, like, kind of wild. You don't have no really big responsibility. You're just, doing your thing and whatever. When you have a kid, I think it changes you. You wanna a good parent, right, wants to make this, you become real responsible, you become, uh a person that wants to see somebody grow into something good, right? And that's what I think we're missing. We're missing a generation of like good parenting kids that grow up to be good people and motivate more people. And then you get that movement of growing more and more. Where if you get a generation where they're like, okay, we're not having kids, then you're not going to solve anything. I don't think you're going to get stuck in an era. I know this sounds kind of weird. It does, but you have to have a generation that comes and changes something, right? And right now we don't have that. I don't think, and don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking on your generation, bro. I'm not at all. But I think we're in a position that I don't think your generation, we're gonna need more than your generation. That's what I'm trying to say, I
yeah,
guess.
yeah.
We
Like more
need
people.
more, yes,
Yeah.
more, another generation to come that are brought up strong and that mentality of I want to progress and move on and make this place a better place.
Hmm.
And I don't think that's you could do that with just one generation. It's gonna take time, man.
Yeah.
And if you have a bunch of people and kids get fed that whole don't have kids, and I think that's gonna hurt us more.
Hmm.
It's it's kind of weird. I don't know. I don't know if I explain myself really good on that
No, no,
one,
no.
but
It makes sense to me. Yeah. No, my generation. I think we're kind of how would you say, just like I don't know what to do.
Yeah,
But what I'm pretty excited about is Generation Z. I think Generation Z's they have they have a lot of problems. Don't get me wrong, but just keep in mind they're also very young.
yeah,
Um, but Generation Z, I see something in them that it does give me hope in the sense that they are seeing the bleakness of the future. They do feel that, and they are they're really um, trying to prepare themselves for that future. Like uh, like Generation Z has been the main mover and the main pusher of trying to get us to realize what our relationship with Israel really is. To me, it was, dude, it was such a wild thing to see these protesters in college campuses, putting on like Palestine type hijab type stuff. I was like, what the fuck is going on? What? I thought these people were like, what are you
yeah.
talking about, dude? What you idiots? Oh, now it's transgender abortion, like all this stuff. Like, dude, the colleges are so bad. Oh my God. If we get to this point where we're just putting hijabs on, I was so shocked. But now I kind of see what they're talking about, or like what their point was, or what they're trying to speak to. Mind you, like that aspect of it, that's more of on the emotional side of the
Right,
thing of like, oh yeah, that's wrong or whatever. But they kind of showed us the light for the pragmatic type people to kind of see, okay, yeah, it's wrong, but it's also not in our interests. So, okay, now that pisses us off because it's not in our interest.
right.
Yeah, it's wrong, but it's also not in our
Yeah,
interest. So like this is where I'm at. I'm like, "Oh shit. Okay. All right. Yeah, it's wrong. I agree. But like is it in our interest?" And now I'm pissed off that we just been cucked by this little country for so long. It just it's such a wild thing to kind of open your eyes to, especially going from like, what the fuck are you doing? Like trying to represent terrorists, like
right,
from that point of view, which is already like an emotional point of view. If you seen like the Twin Towers fall and like we're like kind of felt that vibe of like patriotism, like
right.
no one fucks with America, like fuck these terrorists or whatever. If you have that type of grew up with that type of feeling, going from there to okay, like this is very weird. Like, let's talk about it. And then as soon as you want to talk about it, you get called an anti-Semite. And I
Right.
think that's also like that really just rubs people the wrong way.
So let me ask you something. What do you think about us pumping all this money in Israel?
No, I hate it. I hate it so much.
So why?
Well, I hate that the United States pumps so much money into all these countries.
Okay.
Really, like NATO, for example. Like I made the point earlier that the only reason they're able to have universal, like, get paid health care is because, we pay for the military.
Right, that's true.
Yeah. So like that bothers me. It bothers me that we're over here just paying for the rest of the world, and but there's people that really just like like we're not really taking care of like the internal side of the US at all. Like the presidency, Trump made this point earlier, is that as a president I can't focus on, internal issues here in the United States. I have to Most of his focus has to be on foreign policy
Right.
as a president of the United States. Yeah, that's the thing.
Here's my thing. I think, yeah, do we need to pump all this money into all these countries? No. I don't think so. I think we give too much money. Do I think we have to have a good ally with Israel? I do think so.
Hmm. What,
Um,
but with Israel specifically, or just allies all over the world?
I think we need to have a good strategic point somewhere with a country that we could, because at the end of the day, dude, I honestly think that we, even though it doesn't seem that way, but I think we could do whatever we want with Israel.
Yeah. Oh, that we can do whatever we want with
Yes.
Israel?
I think we could manipulate them however we want. We
Uh-huh.
just, uh,
So, yeah.
so I think we have that, we support them a lot. We give them a lot of money, which I don't get me wrong. A lot of that money should be pumped in here to fix our problems here. But I do think we need a stronghold somewhere in the middle over there, because it's all chaotic over there, dude.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
a disaster
100%.
over there.
But one could also say that the reason it's a disaster is because of Israel. Like they are causing a lot of the chaos.
They are.
Yeah.
But I something inside me says we need to keep an eye on the bigger picture of, like, let's say China, Russia,
Oh, 100%.
and all those people, right?
Oh,
If
yeah.
you just say, forget about Israel, you guys are on your own and we leave it, then we kind of, we still have our little military bases here and there, but we don't have like a big stronghold in the Middle East.
Yeah.
So I think that,
And we need a stronghold in the Middle East.
you do need it. I think you need it in case everything goes shit, like everything goes to shit, meaning big wars. I think, and like
where?
Like
in the Middle East?
Yeah, like if you need, like if we were to get involved with like a big war with Russia or China, I think you need that middle stronghold there to be able to, for logistic wise. Because if
you're saying having control over that area?
Yes.
Okay.
And I think that's where, if something big was to happen, I think that's where the U.S. would be like, no, dude, we've been giving you this money, you're ours now, and you're going to do what we tell you to do.
Right.
And we're going to control you. But then again, do I think we need to be giving them billions and billions of dollars? No, I don't think so. There's a lot of problems here in the U.S. that we need to fix.
Yeah.
But I do think we need, and like I argue with this or talk with Mario about it.
Mario's so
he's a trip, dude. I love him, bro, so much. He's so awesome. Dude, his mom is always like, you guys, every time he comes over to my house, it's like, we're on it, bro.
Yeah.
We're on it for like an hour.
Oh, 2 that's hours. So great. Oh my God. That makes me so happy, honestly.
Yeah, dude. And then my daughter tries to get into it, and then she has her own views. My daughter's more right now like a liberal kind of mindset.
Yeah.
So for her, Mario's too extreme, and and dude, it's freaking great, dude. And then my wife is over there like, all you guys do is argue, and we're not really arguing. We're just like going back and forth. But it's awesome. Yeah, it's awesome. And I always try to tell him like, dude, I think we need that stronghold there. He's like, no, it's like the Jews. And dude, he goes on. It's awesome, bro. Dude, I've had my dad call me and say, hey, is Mario all right? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, dude, I think he's getting radical. He's talking about all this Jewish stuff. And dude, Mario's going to kill me for this, but it's like, dude, it is. And my brother's the same way. Every time he comes visit, Mario just jumps on him about the Jewish stuff. And dude, my brother's like, bro, you need to keep an eye on him. And I'm like, no, dude. It's awesome, though, dude. Like, I see some of his points. I do, don't get me wrong, but dude, it's good times. I love it. I've never had like this with he's, my 2 kids. They're our only kids, but I've never had that kind of like communication, that bonding with it. It's so awesome, dude. Yeah. It fucking makes my life, dude. That's
so much more interesting. It gives that little spice into the food.
Yeah, bro. Dude. Yeah, bro. You should see, dude. I wish you had like a little camera there, or like when we have dinner or anything. Like they come all the time over to the house, like on their days that they don't work. Yeah, and it always turns into either Israel, Jewish. Or abortion. Dude, it's awesome, bro.
Yeah.
Freaking awesome.
Oh, that's
it's good
so
times.
Cool. No, me and Carlos are just talking about like how we should start like actually like debating stuff, even though we don't know shit. We don't know anything about anything, but we're just regular people, and obviously like we don't know. We still need to, express our opinion, because I guess our vote still matters, I guess, hopefully.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. And we should be able to express like whatever we think and try to, make the argument for our position, you know? Like that is an interesting thing to try to defend yourself in that way and your ideas and how you get to your conclusions. I think that's like a super healthy way to go about things. And last night we were thinking about, okay, well, I guess in order to do this type of stuff, we also have to get good of like at arguing for the other side. Like if I'm like super anti-Israel, like before I get to the point where I'm anti-Israel, I should be able to make the argument for the pro-Israel argument.
Right.
Like I should be able to defend them. Like and like if we were to make it some debate, like okay, I'll defend Israel and you try to disparage Israel. Like I think that's a fun like
It
exercise
is.
to do with friends. And I think that would be like super interesting to start having people come in here to do that type of stuff. So if you and Mario ever want to come, like do your little like
Oh man.
your little thing here, and I could be some kind of moderator, dude. That would be so awesome. Like I think that would not just awesome, but like wholesome, you know, like father son type of like we're arguing about politics, you know, but we love each other, you know.
Yeah, dude. Dude, one of these days I'll invite you guys over so you can come and hang out for the day and stuff, and you can see how
Yeah.
crazy it gets there.
Oh yeah, dude,
And
it's awesome.
dude, especially if my dad is there. My dad is like, he's Republican. Dude, Republican. Let's just say, and this is just hypothetical. Republicans could be destroying this country, right?
Mhm.
And he'll be like, "Do Republicans 100%? Forget Democrats are just destroying this. It's
Yeah.
Republicans."
Yeah.
So
That's part of like the whole boomer mentality,
yes,
right?
yes. And like for him, Bush was like the best thing ever that happened, you know. And it was
Oh
like,
man.
dude, yeah, dude, and Ray, dude, it's so when he comes, dude, and then it's him, me, Mario, and then my daughter's over there in the background. Google, is this, trying to Google everything, dude. It turns to chaotic, bro.
Yeah.
But a good chaotic, right?
Yeah.
We never get to. Here's a problem: when families nowadays have these arguments, they end up splitting up.
Yeah.
And I never understood that. You have to have these arguments. You got to be able to argue this to the point where you're having a good time, right? When it turns into the whole like, oh man, screw my cousin, he's Republican, I don't want to talk to him. Then that screws everything up, right?
Mhm.
And that's kind of like the world we live in, kind of now, kind of where dude, I have coworkers. Dude, I've had coworkers remove me from Facebook. I don't put political stuff on Facebook. I don't.
Yeah.
I use Facebook just to see car stuff, keep in touch with a couple of friends and family, and that's it. I used to put a lot of political stuff in there, and I lost a lot of friends that I've known for a while because of political stuff.
Yeah.
And I never understood that. I was like, if if I want to put something political and you don't agree with it, well, that's fine. That's what this world is so great about, right? We live
Mhm.
here to be able to agree and disagree. But if you're going to get to the point where if you don't agree with me, you don't want to even freaking recognize me, then there's something wrong there.
Yeah.
There's something really wrong with you.
Yeah.
And dude, it's crazy how, yeah, dude, I don't know. I got off the subject there, but
No.
yeah.
This is on subject as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it's wild how I stopped putting political stuff on Facebook because it was so wild, especially when the whole Trump thing started.
Yeah.
It was crazy. And it's wild, man. But yeah, dude, I'm gonna have to have you come over one time and
Yeah.
check, or whenever you guys want, dude.
Yeah,
My
of
house
course,
is
of
always
course.
open to everybody, man.
That's awesome. Yeah, no,
And
I remember Mario did invite me to like I think you guys were making like chicharrones or like
yeah,
carne
dude.
asada or something like that.
Yeah, we're gonna probably have a little Super Bowl thing, so you're
Mhm.
more than welcome to come with the family,
Awesome.
whoever,
Awesome.
dude.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is there's also something that's been really cool about the podcast is like since a lot more people not a lot, maybe like 5 or 10 other people, like
Yeah.
listen, and it has sparked some kind of, conversation within them, and some different connections. Like I know a lot more people than I ever thought I would here in Austin, and that because like shared values, shared like views is one thing, but like the ability to be able to disagree with someone and like have it out in a little like way I think that's that has been lost, and I hope
Yes.
that we find a way to try to get that back in everyday life, especially with families, especially with
Dude,
families.
yes.
Yeah.
You have to have a family thing, man. You have to, bro. It's family is the key to everything.
Hmm.
If you have a healthy family, man, everything else comes and falls in its place. You know, you might struggle through life and stuff, but you have to have your family. And when I mean family, yeah, your parents and stuff, obviously they're family. But when I mean family, family is like your wife and kids.
Hmm.
You have to have that good health there, man. And everything else comes. It's beautiful, dude. It's beautiful. Dude, like I said, man, and this is going back like when I first met my wife and stuff like that, I was just a lost soul. Horrible. I was just doing stupid shit. And it was wild, dude. I think here's what's so beautiful about life, dude. And I'm gonna get all here, like, not emotional, but it's something that I keep really deep inside me.
Uh-huh.
I used to see Mario's mom. I keep saying wife almost. His mom.
Yeah.
I used to work at I've always worked in semiconductor industry, so I worked over there in Arizona. I used to always bump into her all the time, like we were cross paths. And I would always tell my friend, I had this Mormon friend, as a matter of fact.
Mormon. I've had a few Mormons on here now, man.
Dude, he was awesome. He was a good guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He would always say, go talk to her, bro, because I would have told him, man, she's so beautiful. She had like this long black hair, dude. It was awesome, right? And for the longest time, I was like,
And this was at the semiconductor
yeah,
job?
yeah, at Intel over there.
Okay.
And then one day I was like, I don't know, something inside me told me, go talk to her. But dude, I'm not that type of person to go, like, especially when I was younger, to go talk to a girl, bro.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, I don't know, dude. The whole rejection thing, I don't know. So I went and I put a note on her car.
Hell yeah.
It's like, hey, this is Jaime, just give me a call. I want to talk to you. And, some little note. And she called me. And we just, hey, I just want to introduce. And we had a little talk, right?
Uh-huh.
And then, like, a couple days later,
when you got the phone call where you're like, oh shit,
I was like, dude, my hands were all sweaty, and dude, I was panicking, bro. It was like I was gonna like do something that was amazing, And I was stressed out, and I had just gotten over a relationship that was chaotic, dude.
Uh-huh.
So I was kind of like, I was like, I just want to meet somebody, and and I thought she was very, very attractive.
Yeah.
So we talked, I had a little conversation, and then like 2 days later, she calls me. I remember, dude, I was working in the Bay. Actually, I called her. I was working in the Bay, and I was like, hey, what are you doing? And dude, her first words were like, look, I have a kid. What do you want with me? And I'm like, I choked up, and I'm like, well, and she's like, if you think this is going to be a swing thing, like you're just going to come by and just, do your thing and leave, then that's not me.
Yeah.
And by the way, I'm packing my bags. I'm going to Mexico. I'm leaving back to Mexico because she didn't have papers back then.
Wow.
And
this was like Mario was.
Yeah, it's Mario's mom.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So she was going back to Mexico?
Yeah. She was like, I'm literally right now packing my bags. We're leaving. And I was like, and at that time in Arizona, we had that sheriff, which was like terrorizing all the immigrants.
Oh, I remember that sheriff. What was his name? Do you remember his name?
Arpaio.
Sheriff, dude.
Yeah.
Sheriff Arpaio. I need to add him to the thing, but yeah, he also, dude, he went national, man.
Dude, he was like on a ramp, bro. He was just tearing up, dude. He was like on Trump steroids kind of thing right now.
Sheriff Arpaio.
Yeah.
Oh shit,
dude,
this guy?
Yeah, that's him. He had that tent city. So he put a bunch of tents in the jail, and any criminal person he would get, which I thought that was kind of cool in that part, not the whole immigration part.
Mm-hmm.
like criminals. He says, if you're a criminal, you're going to be treated like a criminal. So he had these tents out in the middle. Dude, Arizona gets hot in summertime.
Mm-hmm.
In the middle of nowhere, just a tent and bunk beds. And that's where all the criminals would sleep. Screw all this, good food and, chilling in the AC.
But why?
Because he was just a hardcore, like, believed in, like, if you're a criminal, you do your time as a criminal. You're not here to, relax in jail and have a good time.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So this wasn't a private prison. This was a.
I don't know if it was a private or not, dude. I don't know.
Because that's the other thing. That's the other thing I'm kind of like the stickler on is that there's a lot of private prisons that make it to where judges are incentivized to.
Yeah, exactly. To
convict
make
people.
money.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a money thing.
Yeah.
It sucks. But yeah, so he was tyrannizing all of that. So she was like, I'm fucking, I'm leaving. I got my family in Mexico and everything. And I was like, dude, just stay like a couple of weeks. I told her, just stay a couple of weeks. And let's hang out and stuff.
Yeah.
And then we just got to,
Wait. So she was about to leave one day and you're like, just.
Yeah.
Okay, listen. Hey, listen. I don't know you. I don't know you, but listen, I want to make it work. So give me a couple weeks.
Yeah. Give me a couple of weeks. Let's just hang out.
Let's hang out, like for real. Like I'll really,
Yeah. I was serious, bro.
Yeah.
I was
I'm serious. I really want to know you. I'm really attracted to you. Like just a couple weeks. Let's see what happens. Yeah.
If you don't like what you see, then go.
Yeah.
Just tell me, hey, no, and go, bro.
Wow. So you were just like at the buzzer. You put that note there at the right time,
dude. It was like, honestly, man. It was, now that I see it, like as time passed by, it was like a miracle because I needed that too. If it wasn't, and we'll get into it later, but if it wasn't because of her, I would have probably not been here. So she's like, okay, so let's go to the movies.
Oh, I love it.
I'm going to bring Mario, she tells me.
Oh my God.
So I was like, yeah, I'm cool. And Mario, don't hate me for this part, but I'm just letting you. So I go to the movies. Mario was, I think, 6, 7 years old. And dude, I've never been in a relationship with with somebody that has a kid.
Yeah.
Mario was like a super hyper kid.
Really?
Could not sit down in the movie theater.
I cannot believe that.
Oh, he was like standing, like moving. And I'm like thinking to myself, bro, what is wrong with this kid? It's like, dude, this is a movie theater, somebody's about to tell us, sit that kid down, He's all over the place. But dude, I don't know, with the movies passed, then we started hanging out more and everything just started falling in place. Then I told her to move in with me. And she's like, well,
after 2 weeks?
No, it was a little longer. That she stayed, and it was like a couple months. And then I was like, just move in with me. Dude, I was broker. Dude, I had just moved into a rental house because of another relationship I had that she was psychotic. So
toxica.
Dude, really toxic. like really like mental problems, psychotic. So I had moved into this house. I didn't have one penny, dude. I was barely making the payments. She came over and I kind of told her, dude, I'm struggling right now. Just give me time. So she helped me a lot. She had a bunch of money in her savings. And she said, like, I'll help you. And dude, she freaking helped me, like, get on my feet. But what was screwed up, and this part she doesn't know, and I'm sure she's gonna watch this. What she didn't know was, like, when she would go to work, I was still kind of hooked on drugs and stuff, doing drugs.
Yeah. And
then she gets pregnant. And I would just, and when I said I used to do kind of drugs and stuff, it's not like I would get oblivious and couldn't function. I would just play video games, do a little bit of drugs, and play video games. And dude, I remember one day I'm sitting in the house playing video games, and I'm like thinking, dude, my daughter's, she's pregnant. I'm freaking a loser here doing drugs. I was like, enough. So I grabbed all my shit and fucking flushed it on the toilet, threw everything away, dude. Oh, shit. And I said, this is it. I gotta freaking, this person has put a lot of faith in me. And dude, it changed me in that way completely. You know, we still had our bumps. You know, I still did all
Yeah.
my crazy stuff, not drug stuff, but
Yeah.
other crazy stuff. But yeah, dude, and it totally changed me. And then everything from there started falling little by little in its place. We struggled a lot. Don't get me wrong. We lived at one point in a house. It was when my daughter was born at first. I was trying to help her to do all her immigration stuff, and because I really wanted her to be a family with me. So we were going through all the immigration stuff. So we ended up moving so it was her, me, and my 2 kids, and we ended up moving into it was like a townhouse. Man, I kid you not, bro. The kitchen, living room area was probably as big as this room, and then it just had 2 rooms. And we said, "Bro, we're gonna move in here, save some money, and then, try to buy a house." But then we ran into the whole roadblock of the immigration stuff, where she had to, like, leave to Mexico for, like, it was almost a year. And that was rough, dude. That was really rough. She ended up moving. I got her a place out in Hermosillo, which is south of Nogales area. It's like 6 hours away from Phoenix. So I worked night shift. I've always worked night shift my whole life. So I work Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, every other Saturday. So every weekend that I didn't work Saturdays, as soon as I would get off on Saturday morning, boom, get in my car and drive over there, spend time with them. And dude, I did that forever. And then my parents helped me with Mario last, so that's how they bonded. Like
so Mario got to stay here.
Yeah, Mario stayed with me.
Wow.
Yeah, because he was going to school and stuff. So I told him, no, let him here. We'll take care of him. My parents will help me. And that's how he built a really good relationship with my dad and mom and stuff like that. Because when I would work at night, he would stay over with them. And then, the days that I was off, then I would just take him and then we would go do our own shit and hang out and stuff. But yeah, dude, it was rough, but that's like what I say, man. You have to go through rough stuff to get built that strong. Dude, all that hard times that we passed made us stronger.
Yeah.
And dude, don't get me wrong, we're not perfect. We have our little arguments here and then, but I think it made us like a really strong family. And it was good times, man. It was, we had good times, hard times, like everybody. I remember when we left her we went to Juarez and we were waiting she went to do her interview thing. And we were like, okay, she's going to get her residency and we're going to go all fucking drive back home. And then she gets a letter saying she has to go to Mexico for a year. And we're in Juarez already.
Oh, so this is like her penance or
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly. So I'm like, oh my God, this is going to suck. So, dude, I remember, and if you ever see, when you see Mara asking about the whole fireworks thing, but you
Fireworks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then we went, so I was like, all right. So we bought a plane ticket. I got her, send her to Veracruz with my daughter.
Veracruz, is that where she's from?
Yeah, Veracruz.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, so all her family's there and stuff. So I said, go to Veracruz until I could go to Hermosillo and try to find you a place there, because Hermosillo at the time was pretty safe and stuff. So
yeah. What state is that one in? Juarez or?
Hermosillo is part of Sonora.
Oh, Sonora. Okay.
Yeah, it's very south of Nogales. So as you cross into the border of Nogales, you drive another like 2.5 hours south, and then you're into Hermosillo. Beautiful place, dude.
Yeah, I need to apologize. I need to piss real quick.
Okay, go for it. Oh, freaking like cameras or something, or, yeah, dude.
Dude, I've been surprised. Yeah, no, I think it surprises everybody. Like the quality that comes out.
Yes, yeah, that's what I would do when I've seen the videos. I'm like, dude, you must be using some like freaking big ass cameras.
Yeah.
That's why I was freaking out when I'm coming here. I was like, man, I hope he doesn't have some big ass cameras or something.
Yeah, they would be intimidating. That's a good point. I think just the fact that it's just an iPhone helps a lot with just like normalizing everything.
Yeah,
it's literally just there's a phone there.
Yeah, you don't even realize it.
Yeah. Okay, no, so she had to go back to Mexico and you told her to go to Veracruz and but you were like, I'll try to find you a place in Hermosillo and Sonora so I could come visit you guys a lot more often. You get to see Mario a lot more because Mario was born here, so he can
he could go back and forth. So
wow, dude.
So the trip back from Juarez to Arizona, I'm like destroyed, right? But I don't want to show emotions because I don't want to get Mario all like, sad
Yeah.
and stuff. So I'm trying to keep him all happy and stuff. So we stop at this gas station, dude. And it was a gas station, like a, a big ass QT. It wasn't a QT though. It was like some in New Mexico.
Uh-huh.
But dude, the back store was like a firework depot. So I'm like in there and I'm like, dude, this is freaking badass. And Mario's like, dude, look at all these fireworks and shit.
How old is Mario?
Dude, he was like, man, like 10, maybe 11,
10. Okay.
I think. Yeah. This was back in, man, I don't even know what year it was. It was, yeah, he was young because my daughter was a year and a half, I think. About a year and a half too. And she's 16 now. So it was a little while ago, but not too long ago. So I'm like, dude, you want to go buy fireworks? And he's like, hell yeah. Dude, next thing you know, like $250. In fact, dude, we had our trunk full of fireworks, bro. And we're driving down the road all happy. We already forgot about everything. We're like, dude, we're going to get home and light this shit up. We're going to start throwing fireworks. So that's why Mario always remembers the whole firework, that gas station when we stopped there. It was a good time. So yeah,
excited.
man, we went back and, we ended up looking. I started looking and thank God this guy, dude, and there was a house for rent. So I called this guy and I was like, dude, I need to rent a house. I don't know for how long. It looks like maybe a year, but it might be a little less. And this guy's kind of like, you're from the US at first. He was kind of like sketchy.
Mm-hmm.
But then he's like, you know what, man? It's like, come over, look at the house and I'll help you out. And dude, that guy helped us out. It was like everything was falling like perfect, right?
Uh-huh.
Even after, like, she went over there, I moved them to MLCU. I would go visit them. And then one day she gets a letter, right? Saying, hey, here's your residency. You just got to go to the border and get it stamped. And we were like, dude, that same day, we were like, pack everything, let's go. So we packed everything in the car and we drove to the border, dude. And
She got a residency in Mexico?
in Mexico.
Wow.
It got in a DHL envelope, dude. I never forget that envelope, dude.
DHL envelope.
Yes, bro.
Wow.
It got there and we were like so happy. So I called the guy from the house. I was like, hey, dude, we got a resident. We're leaving. And he's like, that's cool, man. He came over and he checked out the house. It was like perfect, everything. Dude, that guy helped us out a lot. We stayed in contact with him years after. We would go visit him or see you, and then we'd go talk to him. We actually would fly out of him or see him and we'd leave our car at his house, dude.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
he was real cool, man. Real nice family guy and everything.
Wow.
And yeah, dude, we drove back, got in the border guy sealed everything up. And he's like, enjoy it. He's like, do something with your life here. I remember he told that to my wife.
Do something with your life here.
Yeah. And we were like, dude, we're 100%, let's go. So we came back to Arizona, man, and then struggled a little more and then bought our house, beautiful house with pool and everything. And we just started chipping away, dude, chipping, getting our kids up and, everything else just felt perfect, bro.
The American dream.
Dude, yeah, here's the thing, man. I'll tell you this. I hear that the American dream, a lot of people have different. I think to me, when somebody asks me, what is your American dream? To me, is the American dream, to me, is what you make it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not buying a house. It's not, buying a car or having your kids. It's whatever your dream is. That's what the American dream is. You have the opportunities and the tools here to make it what you want. You just got to fight for it. And whatever you want it to be, that could be your American dream.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think an American dream is.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a set stone. Like, I know, like, back in, like, my parents' days, you were asking, what's their American dream? It's like, dude, own a house, the white picket fence and all that. And to me, I never bought that. To me, I could live in an apartment and still have the American dream, bro. Because I don't know. And don't get me wrong, I like nice cars and nice house and everything. But at the end of the day, all that is material stuff, dude. It comes and goes.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, more American dream is what you built with your family. Yeah, building a house and stuff, obviously, but I think the relationship that you built there, the core stuff,
Mm-hmm.
that's what the first step to the American dream is, and then everything else.
Building a family.
Yes, bro.
Build a
That's
family first, worry about everything else after.
yes, dude.
Yeah.
Together you fight and you do and you evolve from there, right? Is it easy? No, it's not gonna be easy, bro.
Yeah.
Nothing is easy. Anything that's easy is no good.
Anything worth doing is not easy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, bro. And that's what I think makes this country good in certain way. All the other shit is obviously crap what's going on. But you still kind of have the tools here to make it. And that's where I think that's when I go back to the whole we need people to have families and stuff to build that structure where you start getting it's like a puzzle, right? You start adding little pieces to the puzzle and then you have this massive puzzle. And then this massive puzzle which will be the people, hopefully change the stuff. But you gotta fix first the family situation, how people are raised and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
You could change all the politics you want, bro. If you don't change the people, how the people are,
The culture.
the culture, exactly, everything's gonna keep going the same way, bro.
Yeah.
It's never gonna change. It's a
Yeah.
cycle that's just.
But
And-
what is, I mean, you just gave a
Yeah.
beautiful explanation of what the American dream is, but what is the American culture?
I think the American culture is having a family, having your kids study something and becoming something, right? The problem nowadays is there's a lot of bad influence. I think this is my opinion, like I said, and I might be wrong.
Wait, what was the American culture? What?
I think the American culture is having a family.
Oh, okay. Having a
Like
family.
when you see
So
an
having a family, just the idea of having a family is deep
family,
embedded into the American culture.
I think it is, man. I really think so. Like if you would have asked me a long time ago, what is the American dream or culture? It's like, dude, I see an American person, a family person that has a house, but has their kids that are successful, that went to school and did something with their life.
That's the American culture.
Yes, that's what I think it is to me.
Yeah.
And I might be wrong, dude. Like I said, don't crucify me for this, but that's what I think it is. And I think the problem is there's a lot of influence now that has changed that in a lot of families and kids. Not only kids, right? Sorry. Because a lot of the families have changed too. And this is like jumping all over the place, but that's where I think like Black people struggle a lot. They don't have that family culture.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they have a lot of, you know, Black people don't have their parents or their father or their mother, so they only have one figure.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where they struggle a lot.
Or no figure.
Or no figure.
Mm-hmm.
And like Hispanics usually try to keep that family culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
Americans, I do it too, but I think it's changed a lot with all the bullshit that's going on with all the politics and dividing everybody. And yeah, dude, it's sad, dude. I don't know. It's sad. Here's what's really sad, like the whole 9/11 thing, right?
Mhm.
It takes such a big event like that to bring everybody together,
Yeah.
where it shouldn't be that way.
Yeah.
We should always be all together. If this country, everybody could agree at least halfway, bro, we would be unstoppable.
Yeah. But it almost feels like on purpose that
I think it
divided.
is. I think it is.
Yeah. The 9/11 thing like scares me because it to me it scares me because it gives the government an incentive to create chaos so that we all, rally around the flag and go start a war somewhere.
Dude, yeah, the 9/11 thing, I think it was all, it's sad to say, but I think it was all like a whole, like prepared.
Like inside job type
Yeah.
stuff, yeah.
I honestly, deep inside me, I think it is. I think there
Mhm.
was a purpose for that, and I think the purpose was to go attack another country, right?
Mhm.
And create chaos, because that's all we did. we created chaos on another country. Now that country's a disaster.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sad that it gets, but that's going back to my point. It's sad that the government has to do something like that for people to get together, though. And we shouldn't. And it all starts, like you were saying, like a neighborhood, right? Everybody should be, dude, we live in a neighborhood, like, I don't see my neighbors. I keep in touch with my next door neighbor. He's a Round Rock cop, so I keep good in touch with him just in case one day.
Yeah.
But he's like the only guy I talk to in my whole neighborhood.
Uh,
Nobody is ever outside. Nobody's ever doing neighborhood stuff. Neighbors are getting together and doing, parties, hanging out. There's not that culture anymore.
mm-hmm.
And I think you need that. You start with your neighborhood and building that culture, right? Is help your neighbors out. And you should be helping each other out, right? But then again, you have to be in a position to be able to help those people, right? I always tell Mario, life is, you have to build your foundation, right? Once you get your foundation and you build up and you're in a position to help people, dude, that's what we're here for, to help
Mhm.
people. You have to.
Yeah, it's part of the Christian.
Dude, it is. It's part of everything, man. If you're in a position, dude, I've had many helps in my job, in my career. I'm not going to say, yeah, all of them got me where I am, but there was some help, you have to put your part in too, right? And I always try to help everybody I can in my job. Whatever I can do, I'll help you, but you got to put your part.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same thing with our neighborhoods, right? You should be able to help your neighbors, help them, work as a machine together.
Yeah.
And that's what, none of that is here now, dude. All that shit is
Yeah,
gone.
it's all gone.
It's all gone.
Your neighbors are strangers.
Yes, exactly, bro. And I don't know why it's like that, bro.
Yeah. It's sad. It really is.
It is. It is. Like,
Yeah.
man, I'll tell you here, we moved out here and it was just us four. My parents live out in Houston with my brother. So yeah, we go visit them and stuff. But other than that, we don't have nobody else.
Mm-hmm.
And it shouldn't be that way. You should be able to have a bunch of friends and stuff. A bunch of, your neighbors, at least minimum your neighbors. That you could say, hey, come over, hang out and stuff. And let's, Sunday night or Sunday afternoon, let's do a little barbecue and fucking just shoot the shit.
Yeah. It that's a very stark reality for us. But I think I hope. I mean, at least we're gonna start changing that here. I mean, I'm no example by any means, but like we were just lucky that our next door neighbors happen to be friends already. They were the reason we moved in here in the first place. But our other neighbors, we don't really know them, and that's I mean, just to start off a problem. But I think what will help is if we start to value traditions.
Yes.
Our own traditions, our own like little community traditions or whatever. This past year, we had a posada for the first time, and it was hard. It was difficult to put together. Like it was not gonna happen unless we had like our friends help to be able to prepare the food, prepare the tamales. Like the tamales are just like a whole. It's a whole ordeal to get the tamales together. And but it ended up happening even that same day. We still weren't ready, but as the people were arriving, they started helping us like finish up the whole the party, because we made bolos to be able to give out like little goodie bags to people.
Right.
But we didn't have those ready. So the first people that arrived, the first thing that they did was start, like packing little goodie bags with one thing of that, one thing of this, two of these, two of that, and like putting them together, put them in a box. And then like Carlos, Mario, all these other people then also showed up. At the time we told them that the thing would start, but obviously we weren't ready. But they also helped out. Like we had some heaters to go outside for people that wanted to be outside. I bought 2 heaters, but I needed to put them all together, and I didn't have time to get all that done. So as soon as they got here, they started building the 2 heaters, and it was dude, if it wasn't for those heaters put such a vibe to the whole place. It was awesome. But the point is that all these people came together to try to, have this like little event, this little tradition that we're gonna try to do every year, and it was religious, and I don't think a whole lot of people have like religious traditions that like the next generation ends up doing, and it felt cool to introduce like all different people from all different perspectives. Like we had a guy from China, like
Wow.
like communist, like CCP China. This kid, this guy, he's an intern, and he came to the posada, and he was fascinated by it. He had a good time. I talked to him for a while outside. It was awesome, dude. I wish he would come on this podcast. He's such an interesting guy.
I'm sure,
Yeah,
man.
but like I said, it's just so many different people who just aren't religious at all. But were nice enough to, like play along with what we were trying to create here. So they ended up going outside with us. They walked with us like down the sidewalk. They came back, and then we had them separate like into two groups, one group inside, one group outside. And then the group from inside, we gave them papers to be able to sing along to the little
That's cool.
carols that we're doing. So they would sing from the inside, we would sing from the outside. And then eventually it'd be like, all right, los peregrinos, they get to come inside and, go inside. And then we had a nacimiento. You didn't get to see it, but today was the day we like put it all down. But we had a nacimiento set up at the corner over here. And so we did a little prayer, not a whole rosary. Like at some point, I want to get to the point where we do the whole rosary, but this is just like a little Our Father and stuff like that, and another little a song that we all sang, and that it just ended up being like there was no rehearsal, there was no plan. It's just like, all right, guys, this is what we want to do. Like we're gonna start singing. Hopefully, you guys join along, and people join along, and it was awesome. And then after that was all done, then I was like, all right, let's dig into some tamales, some pozole, some chocolate, some ponche. Like I got some whiskey, some tequila outside, so could add some stuff. Like I even had cigarettes for people that enjoyed cigarettes. Um, and dude, it was just such a vibe afterwards. We were just hanging out. We had piñatas for the kids, so the kids were outside. They got to hit some piñatas and like fucking like tackle each other over the candy like that. And
That's
that was super awesome. So like we hope to start doing that every year, and then that this next year, my rule is gonna be like if you decorate your house,
cool.
we'll invite you to the posada.
That's
Yeah,
cool. You see,
yeah,
yeah, it pushes people to do that. Yeah, I like it.
yeah.
But that's what we need, man. Dude, we don't have that anymore.
Hmm.
I don't know why. And you know what's crazy though? You see that a lot in Hispanic communities. Dude, you go to a Hispanic community, dude, they're partying.
Hmm.
They're having a good time and Christmas, any holiday, and you don't see that for some reason. Americans are not like that. They're more like, lay back in that aspect. And I don't know why.
Hmm.
Like when we were in Arizona, we lived for a little while in this little Hispanic community area. And dude, it was like a party every time.
Hmm.
Everybody was hanging out always. And then once we moved more into like a suburb area, dude, nobody knew anybody.
Yeah,
It was wild.
yeah.
So yeah, it's a culture that needs to be brought back.
This is part of the reason why kids are so addicted to their phones, because we don't interact with our neighbors, so they never get to have like kids in the neighborhood to go play with.
Yes, bro.
Uh,
That's
yeah.
it. Look, to me, the whole technology thing, it's good in certain way, but you have to know how to regulate it with your kids. Your
Hmm.
kids need outside time. They do. And dude, don't get me wrong. I'm not a perfect parent with that because when my daughter loves gaming and stuff like that, and she does that stuff a lot. But I think it's something that needs to, yeah, dude, kids need to be outside. That's where they belong. They don't belong sitting in front of a computer all night long.
Yeah.
They don't. And we don't see that. But technology is good for them too because everything nowadays is technology, right? Everything, you go to any job and they're using computers. Like, I get stuck sometimes doing stuff in my phone and my daughter comes over and, here you go. I'm like, bastard.
Yeah.
And it's like I like doing a lot of taking pictures and I do a lot of like on my cars and motorcycles when I go riding and stuff. I do a lot of video stuff, and she helps me out sometimes because I don't know how to do shit on there. You know,
Yeah.
when I cut my videos, they look like, dude, straight like ghetto, bro. And then she'll go in there and do some
Yeah.
stuff, and then
Oh, so you do make content
I do
over that?
I don't do talking content, but
Yeah.
I'll do like a lot of like motorcycle. Like right now, I'm in a motorcycle club. I've always been in motorcycle club, so it's
Uh-huh.
kind of like my culture.
Yeah.
And I like to do video when we go out rides
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
I just met my best friend. He moved back to Nevada, and he eventually started, like associating himself with this motorcycle group over in Nevada, and they turned out to like he just knew them for like 5 months, but that it was the closest connections that he has ever really had was with these motorcycle with the people that were part of that motorcycle group. Like they had the mama of the motorcycle group that like kept track of everybody's emergency numbers and
Yeah.
in case anybody needed it. And like he was a safety guy. Like he was all about the safety. Like, hey, make sure you have the proper gear and
Yeah.
and all that. Like, if we're gonna go wild, we're gonna do wild in a safe way. Like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
he was that guy. But it was awesome. It was really cool to see that he got to be a part of such a cohesive group, and like it made me realize why the motorcycle like group thing is a thing all over the country.
It is. It's like I said, I've been in Arizona. I was in a club there for many years. And then I came here. I told myself no more. And then sure enough, I became again a member in another motorcycle club. And it's been all right. It's been good.
Yeah.
It's a community. Here's the thing. There's your good motorcycle people and your so-so motorcycle people.
Uh-huh.
It's a good community. Both of them are good. There's like a brotherhood. It's like they take care of each other. They're all about, the community. But then you have your other groups like that just want to do their own thing, benefit from their own things. But for most part, 99% of them are solid, bro. It's
Yeah.
like a family.
Yeah.
And dude, you can call anytime and say, hey, I need help, bro. And they're there. They'll
Mhm.
come from wherever
Yeah.
and help you out. It's almost like a military structure too.
Yeah.
It's, it's all very structured, but, and like when I say that, it's more of like the hardcore motorcycle clubs and stuff like that. Right.
Mhm.
It's, it's awesome. It's badass when you're riding down with 100 members, down the road, dude.
100?
Yeah, bro.
Oh,
We go to
wow.
these rides and it's shit's
Yeah,
crazy.
no. My buddy, he maybe had maybe 10.
Oh no, dude. Yeah, my
Yeah.
club that I was in Arizona, at one time we were about 200, I think, 220 members. But with that came a lot of problems too.
Oh.
A lot of problems. So that's why I was like, when I came here, I was kind of like getting away from some of that stuff. And then I didn't learn my lesson. But I'm one of those guys that I'm sure a lot of people are like that, but I'm an adrenaline junkie for sure.
Mhm.
And anything that has the word danger on it, let's go. I'm 100% on it, dude.
Yeah.
Which, as time has passed, I'm a little more, I got a family now. I got to be careful and stuff. But that deep inside is like, let's go.
Yeah.
And I love it, bro. It's something that my wife doesn't understand that at all.
No, I don't think anybody who doesn't drive a motorcycle like that is ever like gonna really understand it. Like my buddy, the one I was just talking about, he recently just passed away
Oh,
because of a motorcycle accident, and but dude, he loved it. He absolutely loved it. And like a couple days before he died, he texted me and said, "Hey, if these 1,000 cc's like kill me, just know I went out rejoicing in life and shitting my pants."
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a sport bike type of guy, and he would like take him out to like in Tahoe to get all the little twisties and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Like he started making that his own content. Like he put a lot of effort into his content. Like it was really cool to see him like really get invested into something. but that's what I mean. Like after he died, you know, like so, like especially after a motorcycle accident, everybody just starts blaming the
Yeah.
motorcycle and that, oh no, like this is why no one should be riding a motorcycle and all like that. But the thing is that that's like the way to view it is that the person who, you know, that rides these things, like they take on the risk and they understand it. And but it's you know, like it gives you a reason, not just to live, but it like there are other aspects to living than just the regular monotonous stuff.
Yeah.
But then I guess because my response to him when he sent me that message was like don't be a fucking dumbass. You have a kid,
Right.
and I mean that was the last thing I ever really said to him. Now that he's gone, it obviously just doesn't like you know sit well with me that we didn't have any other discussion other than that. But after meeting his crew and everybody, like I know that at the very least, like he was on cloud nine,
Oh yeah.
you know, as far as like
Dude, here's the thing, man. People don't realize it. Most people that ride motorcycles have some type of little bit of depression.
uh-huh.
And the only time that depression is gone is when you're on that motorcycle.
Yeah.
You know, everybody suffers from some type of depression, right? I'm not gonna say it's only those people. But for people that ride motorcycle, when you're on that motorcycle, it's beautiful, dude. It's like there's not a worry in the world, right? There's cars are awesome too. Don't get me wrong, bro. I love getting on my car and doing 140, 150 miles an hour. Dude, I love it.
Yeah.
But a motorcycle, it's as you're driving, bro, even a degree temperature change, you feel it. It's like, I don't know, it's like you're with the world, you know, with nature and like you're part of the wind and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of guys that do that, it's, you know, to clear their minds and, you know, they have a little bit of depression somewhere. And then it's beautiful, dude. It's a beautiful thing. It's definitely dangerous. I'm not going to say it isn't, but, you know, taking pills is dangerous too. Doing other things is dangerous, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, dude,
Talking publicly is dangerous.
it
Yeah.
is very dangerous
Yeah.
nowadays.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. Dude, I remember when I think I was 17. I had a friend of mine that was a big motorcycle. At that point I was just starting to get into the motorcycle thing. I didn't have money to buy a motorcycle, so I had a couple of friends that used to lend me motorcycles to go to ride. No, dude, I'm good right now. I appreciate it though. And this guy lived like a couple blocks from us, and you know, he would go riding and stuff, and he would always pass by our house fucking hauling ass. And my parents was like, he's a dumbass. And, you know, my parents always. And we went out for a ride. It was like 5 of us. And we were all riding in a pack. These are all sports bikes. And a car got in front of his where he was riding on the right hand side, and he whacked the car like straight on, pow, and fell. We all stopped and got off, and he was all like, "No, dude, I'm good." And we were like, "No, bro, we're gonna call an ambulance," because we were doing like 60, 70 miles an hour. And the ambulance got there, and by the time they were gonna put him inside the ambulance, he passed out, and he was all busted inside. He passed away. So we went to his funeral, and dude, I never forget his mom's face. We went in there. We all showed up in motorcycles, right?
Yeah.
And when we walked in there, her mom says, "Venga," you know, in Spanish, "Venga, muchachos." And she goes, "This is what you want?" And she's pointing at her son. It's like, "This is what you
Whoa.
really want?
Whoa.
This is
Whoa.
what you're asking for? You think your life is worth this?" And she just freaking walked away and left. And dude,
But she said it in a very
oh,
angry
dude,
way.
she was pissed, bro.
Yeah.
Pissed and hurt.
Yeah.
And dude, it hurt, dude. It really hurt. It was like, you know, you start thinking, man, is it really worth it? But at the end of the day, you're like, any accident could happen anywhere, right? Yeah, you're,
I mean,
you're.
you just increase the probability,
Yes,
but
you do, you do. But yeah, dude, I never forget that lady. And then as time passed, I had a couple motorcycles. I was really big in sports bikes, and I had a couple more friends pass away. And then I got into the whole Harley thing, and then same thing. And then my motorcycle club over there, a couple friends passed away in motorcycle accidents. Recently, I lost a good friend of mine's. When was it? 2 years ago, in a motorcycle accident. He was like my sponsor from the club and everything. He was an awesome guy, but making wrong decisions, drinking and riding. Right.
yeah.
So yes, it's something that's like like I've told Mario and my daughter too. You guys need a motorcycle so you could go ride with me. And my wife gets super pissed.
Yeah.
To me, it's like something that I don't know. I need it.
It's a bug. It's
Yeah.
like once you get bit, you're like, you're fucked.
Yeah. I like it, bro. I like it.
You
And
love it. Yeah. No, you
uh,
just like, you love it. You
I
love that
love,
shit. Yeah.
yeah. And like right now, I'm trying to get a sports bike again, not
Mm-hmm.
just to get crazy and drive like an ass or nothing, but it's just something I like doing.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have something in your life that distracts you and keeps you something that you like, right? Not yeah, video games is all good if you like video games and stuff, but they ain't nothing like going out.
Something that gives you like fulfillment.
Yes, you have to have that, bro, in life. And trust me, dude, my wife doesn't understand that. She's
Mhm.
like, "Why are you risking? You have a daughter and everything." But it's like you don't. You're just never gonna understand that deep inside me. And and that's what I see a lot of those guys that ride. They have some type of mental depression or something, and takes it away, bro.
Mhm.
And then it's the best thing ever.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah. No, that gets me thinking because I also like, especially after and then looking into it all, it made me think that, he was going through some shit that I just wasn't aware of.
Right,
And it it makes me curious, right? Like what was it? What was in there? I mean, to a certain extent I know. I've always known.
right,
But it, I mean, if it was always there, like once he got into this motorcycle type culture, it did get him out of there. It was like the first time he was able to breathe, like, and like once you're drowning all the time, it's so exhilarating just to be able to,
right.
get that breath of fresh air and feel like to feel what life is all about.
It's
So I understand him in that aspect, but I guess really it's just all about um communicating with the people around you and trying to really get a gauge of like where they're at and
right.
like mentally or whatever, because really over time you really are supposed to understand someone at their core and or at the very least like the progress is to get there at some point to be able to be there for them whenever they
Yeah,
they absolutely need it. It's like it doesn't matter like what the situation or like the machismo part of it. Like if you have someone out there that really does understand you in that way, and I mean, then they will be there. And
yeah.
that's hopefully like what we all try to achieve with friendship and family and all that.
Yeah, especially with like depression stuff, man. That's so hard, dude. That's like to me, it's hard to understand. I have a
Mhm.
hard time with that stuff, especially like people that commit suicide and stuff like that. I as much as I try to wrap my mind around it, I just can't. I don't understand. But then I do understand, like, some people suffer from some of that stuff that they really think that life ain't worth it, right? And they think they want that pain to go away, I guess,
Yeah,
but I have a hardest time. Like what was it, 2 weeks ago, lost one of my coworkers to that.
to
Um,
depression, to suicide.
yeah. And I had to help him you know, throughout work, getting the stuff like I'm his supervisor and stuff.
Hmm.
But I never thought it was that serious. And like I said, I don't, as much as I try to understand, why would somebody do that? Like, I always see, like, all these singers commit suicide and all that. It's like, why would you? Life is so beautiful, dude. I don't know. I'm like one of those persons that's super high on life.
Mm-hmm.
If you were come to me, if God came out to me and said, "Hey, dude, do you want to live forever?" I'll be like, "Sign me up." I'm the first guy on
Yeah.
that list
Yeah.
because I love life.
Yeah.
There's so much of it. Yeah, it has its bad things too, but you could always make the best of it. And dude, and when it comes to stuff like that, it's like, why would you do that? You're supposedly running away from your pain, but you're causing other people pain. So yeah, dude, I don't know. It's very hard for me to understand why people do that.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter how much somebody tells me, it's because of the pain, it's because of, they're going through all this in your mind. It's like, but still, life is way better than that. Life is more significant than just, committing suicide.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's hard. It's I don't know, man. It's hard for me.
I think we've lost more people in this like century over suicides and abortion than we have like in the last ever.
Yeah,
Like suicides.
yeah.
Yeah, I had a cousin that committed suicide on Christmas Day,
Oh, Jesus.
over a girl. And he did it in front of her. Like it was
Oh my God.
yeah. It I mean, it was a gruesome situation. It was, I mean, just like a really sad day. Um, but you just, I don't know. It's hard to get into that mind state because, I mean, at the same time, it's hard to get to there because you don't really know how to get to there if you've never really felt that before. But it's also hard to get to there because it's a scary place to be in. You know, imagine having that thought in your head and it's like, it's probably better if I just make
Yeah.
the point. Let's just make a point. And whatever. I'll feel it for whatever, like 5, 10 seconds or whatever, but I'm gone.
Yeah.
So who cares? It's not like I'm gonna suffer anymore. It's just that's it.
But here's the thing, dude. Everybody has those thoughts.
Mm.
Nobody could tell me with a straight face that they don't never thought about it once.
Yeah. I
It's
mean, but there is a difference between like think about it, it's like
right.
seriously thinking about it.
But that's the thing. It's like, what is it? That's what I don't understand. What drives a person to go from the state of thinking it? Like, dude, I could tell you, I've been riding motorcycle. I'll be like, dude, what happens? If I just ride straight into this car and kill myself?
Mm-hmm.
But am I going to do it? No, hell no. But what drives? That's where I think we need to figure out what drives that person to that last step to
Mm-hmm.
committing that act, because and this is selfish for me saying this, but to me that's a coward act.
Yeah.
To me, it's like you are just cowering out of your situation
Right.
and causing a lot of people grief because that's all you're doing, really. Do you? Yeah. Obviously, we don't know what happens after you commit suicide, but you're leaving a disaster behind you.
I mean, not only that, it's like one of the worst sins you could ever commit.
Exactly. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. I
Uh,
think part of the reason might be because of a lack of emotion, lack of feeling, lack of purpose, lack of fulfillment. You just don't have that, that little gerbil inside that hamster wheel inside you that just keeps on going. Like you don't know what drives you or what propels you to, keep on moving forward, but there's something in you that just keeps on going. And for them, for some reason, that fucking hamster died at some point and hasn't been able to find a replacement. So they can't feel angry. They can't feel sad. They can't feel happy. It's just where is this emotion that people talk about? Like I feel like a weirdo not feeling sad when somebody dies, not feeling happy when my team wins and I'm at the stadium and whatever. Like it's not coming to me. I'm just like, oh, like everybody's excited.
to,
Like
to,
that must be nice.
right.
Like I wish I was really excited about this. But if you just can't feel these emotions, these human, like the things that make you human, I think it does ostracize you in a huge way, maybe to the point where you do end up committing suicide or do end up doing some bullshit. Like, I mean, it could be something small, like initially I'm gonna go, steal some shit from the store
Yeah,
and see if I can, feel it, like
feel
get a
it.
little adrenaline from it. And maybe you do, maybe you don't. And if you don't, then it's like, all right, well, what's the next level after this? This is, I mean, this hasn't really been talked about, but maybe not in like mainstream media type places. But I, whenever we have this conversation over like school shootings and stuff like that, I don't think the whole pharmaceutical um like whatever the person was taking at the time, what brought them to this state where they just thought it was okay to go murder a bunch of kids. Like why can't we look into that? Why isn't that not?
And I think that's a big, dude. Honestly, I think that's a big problem too. That a lot of those people that commit stuff like that is probably because of pharmaceutical things. Dude. Uh, some of the, like I said, though, some of the depression stuff, instead of helping you, make you more freaking crazy
Hmm.
and make you think crazy. And yeah, you never hear shit like that, dude. It's always, oh, the guns.
Yeah.
Go after the guns. And it's like the gun is just an object. It's why aren't we looking into a person's mental health?
What is the human condition here?
Yes. And yeah, it's crazy. I know it opens the door to many things, privacy problems and stuff like that. But like,
I don't
dude,
know. As far as I'm concerned, as soon as you shoot up a place, like your privacy
it
is
is true. It's out the
you
door.
lose that privilege.
Yeah,
Like we get to know everything now. It doesn't matter whether it's your health records or whatever the fuck. You killed a lot of innocent people, dude.
that is true.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I'm a big like. This is for your Colombia friend here. I'm a big gun guy.
Oh yeah, shout out! Oh, you saw that
I
debate?
did.
Well, it wasn't really a debate, but it was a little back and forth between
Yeah,
us.
dude.
Yeah, yeah.
It
That-
was good times, bro.
yeah, oh, I loved it. I loved it so much.
I'm a big gun guy, but I
Mhm.
do agree on certain.
I might have to break it up a little. Yeah.
I do believe if you're gonna go buy all these guns and own all these guns, there should be some type of system where we should be able to check somebody's mental health.
Hmm.
I do believe in that. I know all the Second Amendment crap and all that.
But how do you check somebody's mental health? Because it really just is up to whoever it is.
I think
Like, how do you test that? Like, is there a way to filter out liars and stuff? Like,
that's a problem. It's hard. I think once you want to buy a gun, I think you should be able to do. It sounded like somebody was knocking out there.
do you think someone's knocking?
I thought it was like the mic or something at first, but I was like, were they knocking for real? Or?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was me at first. I was like, dude, am I hearing a knock? And then I thought it was like, I heard the dog. I was like, maybe it's his tail whacking. On
Me too. I was like, "God, shit." Yeah, no, I don't know. I was too into the conversation. No, I gotta wrap a present later. What were we talking about? Oh,
what good-
depression and
guns.
guns and yeah.
So-
The mental health checks and all
So,
that.
dude, here's my thing. If you want to own guns, you should be, and I know this does not, I'm going to get a lot of shit for this from the gun people, but I think you should be able to, they should be able to say, okay, let's look at his medical history and make sure, first of all, this guy's not on antidepressants or none of that crap. And then you should be able to take like some type of psychological test. Something simple. It doesn't have to be all crazy, right? But something where it could probably throw a red flag or something.
Mhm.
Do you have to do it for every gun? No, I don't think so. But I think if you want to keep, 10, 15 guns, you should be able to do one of those every 2 years.
But what is a red flag? I think that's what makes people uncomfortable. Where is the line?
That's where you have to depend on doctors and stuff like that. And that's what's hard.
Depending on doctors. The people that are trying to push you into this system.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then you have the whole, oh yeah, this guy's messed up. Give him a bunch of pills and forget about buying guns. But now we got him on pills.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a hard thing, dude. There's no right answer. But I don't think the right answer is to, let's ban everything. I don't. Dude,
I think guns are a part of the American culture.
It is. And dude, look at the states that have real strict gun laws. They're chaotic. New York is chaotic. California, there's crime rates are off the roof. And then you look at states that are real open with guns, and you don't see a lot. You still see crime. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you don't, but I think it's less chaotic.
Crime, I think, is more of like a inner city type issue. But yeah, no, the gun thing is a part of the American culture, and I do think there is something to be said that it is it is number 2 in the list of amendments that they decided to dish out. Like, 1 is free speech, the freedom of expression, right? All right. Why was it number 2 for them? Like, I think that is something like people need to contest with that. All right, why was this like number 2 for the founding fathers? And to me, I'm rationalizing it like, okay, yeah, that we do have this big government, that they have like superior weapons, superior strategy, that they'll be able to oppress us no matter what. Like, we have no defense whatsoever. But I do think that having the right to bear arms does complicate this whole control issue for them.
It does.
Yeah, like in Australia, with like during COVID. In Australia, if you're Australian and you lived in Australia, you have to take that shit.
Yeah.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You have no decision whether or not you take the jab or you like separate from society. The government's gonna force you to do that. Here in the US, it gets complicated because people have guns.
Yeah.
You can't forcibly move them out of sight of their house. You can't move them somewhere else. I mean, maybe you can here and there, but eventually you're gonna hit a roadblock with a bunch of guys with a bunch of guns that says,
you will.
"Fuck you, get the fuck no, get out of my little country, like my little community here.
Yeah.
I'll die before you take any of us."
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's some real shit. And if that is the case, okay, maybe all right, they end up killing the people to be able to move these people into separated places for COVID or whatever. But now they have to contend with the news of, all right, the government murdered people just to lock them inside a house to contain them or whatever.
Exactly.
Like that, it does complicate things. And at the very least, like, that's my position. At the very least, it does complicate things for a tyrannical government.
Yeah,
I get
it.
It still does kind of. It might be a small check, but it's still some kind of check against power.
Right.
Yeah.
It is, and this is what, like I say, man. Like when COVID happened, dude, they shut down everything, and everybody was like, "Okay, we'll shut down." Everybody was calm. Go tell everybody, "Hey, we're taking your guns," and see what's going to happen. You're going to have a civil war, and you need, like you're saying, let's be realistic. Are we ever going to be able to fight our military? No, we will probably lose. But
that's assuming everybody inside the military is for the government.
Right, exactly. And that's a whole different subject too.
Yeah.
But yeah, you need, like you're saying, if you didn't have that type of, like, if you want to call it protection or whatever, if they were to come and move you and there was an incident like that where they would kill people, dude, that would be national news all over the place. And then the government will have another problem in their hands. So I think, honestly, that's kind of why the Second Amendment was there, to kind of give some type of protections to the people. Is it going to be to race against our government? Dude, our military is pretty badass, but it gives them some type of protection. Like, dude, here's an example. Mexico, citizens over there, from my understanding, it's very hard for them to own guns.
Yeah. I mean, it's legal, but they have to buy it from one gun store, and the only gun store is in Mexico City.
Right. if you, I think, had an open, like here in the U.S. over there, you tell people we're putting gun shops everywhere. You guys could buy guns. I think your crime rate there would go down
Mm-hmm.
because you're not gonna have now. You have
I mean, it might go up initially,
right initially, yeah,
initially, but then afterwards,
but then you're not gonna have that now where you have all these cartels and all these like bad people trying to take advantage of people that can defend themselves. And is it the solution? No, I don't think it's the solution, but that's a whole different
can of
subject.
worms.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, that's
Yeah.
but that's why I'm a strong believer you have to have you can't the whole I don't know, the whole subject about taking guns away is bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
It's never gonna happen. I know people say, yeah, we're little by little going that way. Yeah, we might be going a little bit by that way, but eventually people are going to be like, wait a minute.
I think it's going to start going the other way, especially with Gen Z. Gen Z, yeah, there are some people that hate guns, but like the people that love guns, they love.
Dude, like Mario just bought like 2 guns.
Yeah.
And dude, I was like, inside me, I was like, fuck yeah, dude, he finally bought some guns, Dude, it's weird because we went to the gun shop. He's like, come with me, right? And I went with him. I had no intentions of buying any gun, dude. I have plenty of guns. I was no intention. Next thing you know, I'm here. I have 2 extra guns too. He got me all motivated. But inside me, I was like, good. That's what we need, And like I told him, you never own guns, but take a safety course or something. You got to make sure you do things right.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be a dumbass and be doing stupid shit either. But yeah, dude, inside me, it's like, that's what we need. Dude, yeah, I know there's a lot of bullshit with the whole, school shootings and stuff like that, but that's a whole different. I think those, like we said, that's caused a lot by other mental issues there. I don't think it has anything to do with the guns. Look at it, but dude, I'm sure if we didn't have guns, they'll find another way to kill kids somehow. If they really wanted to do that, they could just wait until they get out of school and run them over with a vehicle. Yeah. And that's happened before in Vegas when they had that. I think it was a lady or a guy, I can't remember, where it went and ran over a bunch of people.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Vegas shooting.
No, the Vegas shooting.
The biggest mass shooting in American history that we all kind of apparently forgot about.
Dude, bro, both my kids get on my ass about that one.
About the Vegas shooting?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I don't know, dude. I really think that guy, yeah, there was a hidden agenda behind there.
By who?
But I think by this is going to sound weird, but I think it's the left side, or we're pushing that agenda.
So Americans, but leftist agenda?
Yes.
Americans?
To try to put a control of weapons. Especially on like assault rifle weapons.
I think there was also a hidden agenda to it, but I think it was so much bigger than just like the other side of American politics.
Really?
That was involved with it. Like I think it had something to do with Saudi Arabia. It had something to do with Mohammed bin Salman, who is the Prince of Saudi Arabia right now, and he was inside the States at that time, and the higher level of that hotel that guy shot from, that's operated by a different hotel company by like more elegance, and that's where the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia was hanging out, along with Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump, because they were having like this. I think it happened during some religious holiday or whatever, and they wanted to show their kids, the history of this thing. But the point is that Mohammed bin Salman, if you know, I don't know anything about Saudi Arabian politics, but this is how I know that he is a very radical person within that whole power structure in Saudi Arabia. He's trying to modernize Saudi Arabia, make it more normal for women to not wear the fucking the mask or whatever, and give women like the ability to be able to drive themselves and stuff like that. Like these are all radical concepts in Saudi Arabia. So this is what this new prince is trying to push through, and like, but there is another faction within Saudi Arabia that is like, fuck no, what
Right.
the fuck? So what that faction tried to do in Saudi Arabia, because there is an internal civil war within that family over who is gonna elevate to be the king. Um, and right now he's the next in line, and they're trying to take him out, right?
Right.
So in Vegas, that's kind of how they kind of play it. Is that faction of it tried to get him assassinated there, and it didn't work out.
But
And
but
but what?
but was he so that to my understanding that shooting wasn't a concert, right?
Yeah, it was in a concert. It was an outdoor concert,
Right.
and this guy was
Right.
up in a hotel room and shot downward.
But was he down there where the people or
No.
so why
No, the allegation is that he was up in his hotel room, shot up the window from his hotel room, and shot downward through
right.
to all the concert people.
But you're saying that he was an assassination for the Saudi guy.
No, no, I think it was just a distraction so that
Oh, okay, I
Mohammed bin
see.
Salman can get away.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, that's what I think it was.
It was, dude, it was interesting. I don't know if you've seen the footage of the guy hanging around the casino.
No, no, but I did see. I don't know if you ever heard of Ian Carroll. Ian Carroll's like this new like modernized type of journalist that is all about the conspiracy. If you're
Right.
into conspiracy theories, this guy is your guy. But he really genuinely does try to like, like dig deep and look at both sides and whatever. And this is a guy who found this website called LasVegasShooting.com. And it's this random person that got all the videos and all the phone calls and audio recordings that happened that night, timestamped and marked on Google Map exactly where these things occurred, where this video was taken, where this audio recording took place. And all of them are plotted out on Google Maps, like around the concert area. So you know where all these angles of these different shootings are happening. And just based on that, you could tell that, okay, these bullets aren't just coming from that hotel room. They're also coming up from above, straight down. Because there's people that got
Right.
shot at the very temple and from like different directions than what the hotel room would have allowed that shooter to be able to shoot them at. So this lends to the idea of these helicopters that disappear, that you could see them coming into the Vegas area around that where the shooting happened, but then as soon as they get to the area where the shooting happened, they disappear from the transponder, from any kind of tracking. They disappear. And then eventually they reappear, leaving the area far away.
Interesting.
So the idea is that these people that were inside the helicopters, they were there to create the distraction, the mass shooting downstairs, so that Mohammed bin Salman can be able to escape his potential assassination attempt.
Interesting. I'm gonna have to look into that. Yeah, that's funny you say that because both my kids say that there's more going on to that.
Yeah.
Just one guy shooting at a crowd.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna have to look into that. That's actually pretty interesting
Mhm.
because like
Tucker Carlson just interviewed Ian Carroll to try to describe everything that happened in that day. Like that's all they talked about was Las Vegas shit. And this conversation just happened like a month ago or something.
I'm gonna look at it and check it out.
Yeah, it was a good one. And he kind of tells you where the website is and everything.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that. That's actually cool. I never saw it like that. You know,
Yeah.
I always thought it was more like because after that whole shooting, there was a lot of restrictions on like bump stocks and full auto weapons
Mhm.
and all kinds of stuff that came out of that. Now they're starting to come back again and relax on them. And I always thought, man, this to me it almost looked like an agenda thing. But
No, I mean they definitely, because I mean obviously American politics isn't just
Yeah.
going to let a tragedy go to waste.
right.
They're gonna see a tragedy and be like, all right, well, let's use it for our advantage, and the Democrats definitely took advantage of it.
It did, but what was weird was that Trump was one of the ones imposing some of those.
Exactly. I mean, that
Anti-
happened during the Trump
yeah,
administration. Yeah.
and that was kind of weird because he's supposedly a big gun advocate guy, you know.
Hmm. Well, I don't think he's a big. I mean,
Well,
he ran for the Republican ticket, and you kind of have to have that on there.
yeah,
He also kind of had to support Israel, but he kind of threw a wrench in the system, and they tried to get him in jail for it. And now he avoided that. Now he's the president. Now, I mean, he's always been pro-Israel, but now he's really pro-Israel.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's weird, man. Like, it's hard for me. Like, I saw there's videos of the guy just hanging around there in the casino, dude. Like,
Yeah, he seemed like a regular guy, just,
dude, he
chilling,
did, bro. He did.
Yeah.
And he's like talking to people and just like nothing, dude. And it's
Mhm.
like, what the fuck, dude? This is
Yeah.
crazy.
I mean, this conspiracy theory that I'm talking about is that he had nothing to do with it. They just shot his ass and used him as a patsy.
You think?
Yeah. I
You
mean,
don't,
that's what this idea.
but you
Ki-
see videos of him taking all these bags up to that room.
Yeah, no, he was definitely like selling this stuff, but none of it was like there's nothing to point that like his life was in disarray and he wanted to commit suicide,
Right.
and that's the way to do it. They think that yeah, he was just a very convenient, like all right, well, let's use this guy. Obviously there's
Right.
video of him doing this stuff. Let's make something good of the situation.
That's wild, bro. I'm gonna have to look into that. That's
Yeah,
actually pretty interesting.
yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Hmm.
But it's wild, man. It's yeah. All this same thing with school shootings, and some of those are kind of like you look into them and you're like, this is kind of weird.
Hmm.
Like I don't know, like the one that just happened with all those cops just sat there and they didn't do shit.
And Uvalde.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's so weird to me.
yeah.
It's because I could understand maybe one or two cops that kind of got scared.
It took a civilian to go in there and
Dude,
yeah, right.
yes. And it's like, and you're not talking about one or two cops. You're talking about 10, 15 cops who are just standing there not doing a damn thing. And it's like, bro, were you guys told
To
not
stand
to,
down.
yeah, let it go for some reason?
Yeah,
And I don't understand that.
yeah.
It's very weird.
One more piss break. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, go for it, dude.
I always tell I've come to realize that a lot of weed smokers, they like to just lose themselves. They like to go to outer space and just see where it takes it. I hate that. I absolutely hate that. I I need to know I'm going to be able to come down and, touch ground just to, reevaluate where I'm at. I always explain it as like I like to moonwalk. I don't like to float into outer space. I like to, jump. And I'm like, oh, the ground. Okay, let's jump again. Yeah, because that's how I see joints. Joints are just like 1, 2. All right, let's evaluate where we're at. All right, okay. One more. Let's do one more. All right, all right, all right, all right. All right. We're good, we're good, we're good. Let's put that out. Let's close it up. All right, cool. Hey, we're good. And then I'm good to, like stay there for 30 minutes, an hour, or whatever. And then if I ever want some more and later, I treat it like drinking. Like, you're drinking, you kind of,
Right, evaluate.
you know your limit, you know where you're going. Um, that's how I see weed, but some people just like, all right, let's blast off, man.
Yeah, dude, I'm one of those persons where if I smoke weed, uh, dude, you're not moving me from my couch. I'm not talking. I'm just done. And dude, I don't like that. Dude, I'm one of those people that I'm always active doing something.
Right.
Doesn't matter what it is. I gotta be moving.
Mm.
And weed, to me, is like, it just kills me, dude. Edibles, I like them if you could get to that point where you're okay. But it's
Right.
very hard to gauge. At least my experience, that 2 times I've tried them, it hasn't worked out that way. It was just, dude, I was like blasted, dude. And it was bad, bro.
Yeah.
It was really bad.
The first time I ever tried weed was in Sacramento, California. and I went with this girl, and it looked like a candy store, honestly. Like, go in there, all right, let's try that, let's try that, let's try that. We got some cookies, some gummies, peach ring gummies. I love peach rings, dude. And this pomegranate soda, and these. I think that was it. But so she was taking a shower. I'm like, I'm watching Rick and Morty. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna try these out. So I go in there, I open the bag of chocolate chip cookies, and I eat a whole cookie. I'm like, oh, wow, this shit's good. Holy shit. So I grab another one and I eat it too. And I'm like, all right. That shit was good. I'm only gonna eat two though, because like I don't know what this is all about. I'm good at two. So I go back down and I sit down and I, continue watching Rick and Morty. And I think like a good amount of time has passed by, and I'm like, I'm not feeling anything. Let's see what those peach rings are about. So I go over there and I'm like, I take a peach ring. I'm like, gosh, this was a really good peach ring. Oh wow! And maybe at this point I was already starting to feel the effects of the cookie, and I just didn't really realize it. But I absolutely like loved the taste of this peach ring. So I'm like, one more. And I'm just like, all right, I really enjoyed that. This is the last one. I grab another one, close the bag, take that last peach ring. So I think I have like 2 cookies, 3 peach rings at this point. And then the pomegranate soda is just looking at me. I'm just like, I'll sip on this until she comes out. So I grab the pomegranate soda and I take it with me to the couch and just sipping. And then I love it. I love the soda, dude. I love it so much. So I get up and I go into the bathroom and into the shower with her, and I'm like, "Hey, you should try this soda. It's the greatest thing of all time." So I have her take a sip, and she's like, "Okay, I'll take a sip." So she takes a sip, and then she's like, "Oh yeah, that's really good." Like, okay, cool. That's fine. Let me finish showering. I'm like, okay, all right. And then I get back out. I down that soda, dude. I'm just like, oh yes, it is so delicious. And I'm just like, wow, I'm having such a great time. I am. I really am. This is like peak,
Oh,
as Mario would say.
yeah.
And I'm just sitting on the couch watching Rick and Morty, and like my subconscious, like imagine your subconscious talking to you like, you're going to throw up. Like just silently. I was just like watching Rick and Morty. And then it says it again. You're going to throw up. And I'm just like, wait, what? Wait, what? Is that me thinking that? Dude, you're really going to throw up. And I was just like, whoa, okay. Oh shit, that's my subconscious. Oh fuck. All right. All right. Well, I feel fine though. I'm good. So I'm just like, whatever. Dude, listen, for real. For real, you're going to throw up. So I'm like, okay. I'm looking at Rick and Morty. I'm like, I still want to stay. And I'm like, all right, you know what? Just in case, I'm going to walk over to the sink just in case, just so I could continue watching Rick and Morty. But I'm going to walk over to the sink and I'm just going to, hover over the sink. And then as I'm walking to the sink, I see the sink. Without hesitation, I don't know where it came from. I felt fine. Split second later, I felt this rush come from my stomach with like pressure. Like it felt like a lot of force coming out and projectile vomiting onto the sink.
Oh my God.
And
That's wild.
like it hit the sink, it exploded everywhere. And I just started running into the sink. And I got way too close to the sink to where it would start splashing on my face. And I was like, no. Oh, but I couldn't stop throwing up. So I was like, okay, I was just like, uh, uh, it just wouldn't stop. And but I still held hope that I was able to function.
Right.
I thought, okay, I ate too much. Like, all right, like it's coming out of me. Like it's just forcing itself out of me. This is good. All right. I know that all right, I know what my limit is now. But I couldn't I would take a break and then I would start throwing up again. I would take a break and then I would start throwing up again. And I held out this hope that I was able to get over it. So I turned on the water to the sink and I started to like use my hands somehow. I lost functionality of my
Yeah.
hands. So I started, but I still thought that I could, like use my hands to clean up all the excess throw up all around so I can, like clean it up so that when she comes out, she's not gonna be like, "Oh my God, what happened?" Like
Exactly.
I was thinking, all right, like, listen, I'm trying to fuck tonight. Like I can't be having issues right now. All right. And I was dedicated, dude.
Oh
I
my
was
God.
dedicated. So I was like, all right. I was thinking, it's the final countdown. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Like I was motivated and I was cleaning it up all good. And then I start to turn away to like, all right, I'm going to figure my shit out. Like I'm okay. As soon as I turn away, I projectile vomit again into the floor,
Oh my God.
into the floor. So I get back to the sink and I'm just like, oh, and then I can do it. And I'm like dry vomiting at this point. And I'm just trying to find rest at this point. I just want to rest. So I lean on the counter. But then I slip on the throw up that I threw up on the floor.
God, dude.
Now I'm just on the floor. And the girl finally comes out of the shower and she sees me on the floor and my throw up just, and then I continue to throw up to the side.
My God.
Yeah. And, yeah, man. Yeah, it was a formative experience.
It is. It does,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
If we went to Vegas, I don't know when it was, man. It was like 6 years ago. I think it was like 6. Maybe it was a little more than that. I went, me and hopefully Mario and Elena don't hear this part. We went to Vegas
Uh-huh.
and it was me and the wife. So
Uh-huh.
my thing was like, bro, I want to go to one of those weed places,
Yeah.
So we grabbed a cab and they're like, yeah, the weed places are kind of away from the strip. They're not really on the strip. So we were like, okay, take us to one. So they took us to one. We get in there and I'm like looking and I'm like, well, I don't really want to smoke anything. I just want to eat something.
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with the whole smoke.
I think that's how we all start.
Yeah.
We're like, yeah, no, smoking's icky.
Yeah. And so we buy a bag of edibles. And then I don't know why we decided to walk back instead of taking a cab back. Dude, I kid you not, we walked for like 4 miles, 5 miles to get back to the hotel. We were like fucking tore up walking back. And my wife is pissed the whole time. She's like, you cheap bastard, why didn't you get a taxi? And I was like, dude, we're almost there. And I'm just thinking, I don't want to spend $20. I already spent like 40 years.
Yeah.
Just being a dumbass.
Yeah.
So we get to the room and we're like, okay. And dude, my wife is anti-drug person.
Uh-huh.
No drugs, never done drugs. So I give her, they were like these lifesaver kind of thing. A bag had like 6 of them, I think, in it. So I give her one, I get one. They're like gummy kind of things. I eat one, she eats one. We're like chilling for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. There's nothing. I was like, let's have another one. I have one more. And then inside me, I'm like, okay, don't eat no more because you don't know how this is going to go. And my wife is like, bro, this sucks. I don't feel anything. Give me another one. And I'm like, at that point, I was like, fuck it, let's just finish the bag, So she has one, I have one. Dude, we chill for like 30, 40 minutes, nothing. We're up there just chilling. We're like, fuck this, let's go to the casino. So as we're walking towards the elevator, I felt something weird, but I was like, maybe I'm getting a little high or something. Something doesn't feel right. But I'm functioning normal, dude. Everything's normal. So we get in the elevator, fucking I hit the lobby. dude, as the elevator's going down, it was like, it almost felt, I don't know if you ever been to Walt Disney or Disney World where they
Yeah.
have this room. It's like the haunted house one where the
Oh
room
yeah.
starts stretching.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, the elevator started feeling like that, like it was getting longer. But it wasn't drastic, right? And I'm like just looking around like, dude, I'm still good though. I still could hit the slot machines and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, as soon as that elevator hit the fucking lobby, you know how it does that little movement
Mm-hmm.
and the doors open? As soon as it did that movement, it felt like a fucking 9.9 earthquake had just hit the whole fucking elevator, and like the whole building felt like it just like it just
Your legs gave out like,
yeah,
oh shit.
and I'm like, whoa. And I look over and all I see is my wife like this on the elevator, holding on. And I'm like, dude, she's ripped. She's like, and then she's like, bro, let's go back to the room. I can't walk. And I'm like, okay. So we hit back the elevator, go back up. As we're going up, dude, everything's just getting worse and worse. And I'm like, oh my God, this is not good. The elevator opens and I'm like telling myself, get out of the elevator, but it's not working. I'm like, my body's not reacting, like it's not moving. And my wife is over there, like just quiet, holding on for like if the elevator was falling from, 50 stories. And I'm like, let's go. And I'm trying to grab her and we're trying to walk down this hallway, dude. It was the worst feeling ever. It was like everything was just like moving all over the place. My head felt like I was just floating. We got in the room. She sat on, we had like a little suite kind of room. So there was like this big sofa kind of thing. So she sat in one corner and I sat in another. It was the only where I could just get without falling. Bro, and I'm like, dude, I need to relax. I'll just watch TV for a little bit, and once we get, back to Earth, you know, we'll go out again and hang out. Bro, 7 hours, I think it was like 7 hours later, we're still sitting there, and the whole fucking room is just falling apart on me. And I'm like, oh my God. I was like, I'm gonna die. My wife is over there almost puking already, like dying. And I'm like, okay, let's just chill and watch some TV, dude. I kid you not, it was like 10 hours into it. The TV was off. I thought I was watching like the biggest show ever, and I was not watching anything. And it was like so chaotic, bro. And then out of nowhere, it just like whoop, and it went away, dude. And I was like, oh my God. And I looked over at my wife, was like, don't ever in your life ever give me something like that again. And I'm like, bro, I'm with you. I'm like, I don't like, dude, it was rough, dude.
Uh-huh.
It was really rough. And then after that, bro, it was like, yeah, I think I did gummies like 1 or 2 times after, but I would like just cut a little piece and just eat it. Like we
Yeah.
would go camping all the time and stuff and just
Yeah.
chill.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Dude, we did a lot of camping and it
Yeah.
was good, dude. But yeah, dude, I never got that, dude, that wasted. It felt like the first time I ever tried shrooms. That's how bad it
Really?
was, dude. Yeah.
Dude, shrooms was so wild to me, dude. But it was wild. It was revealing and just I don't know. It definitely made me feel like a more open individual. Like, all right. All right.
You see,
Like I need to include everybody here. Like, all right, let's figure this out, guys.
dude, I've only tried it once
Mm-hmm.
and it was a disaster.
Yeah. It was a
Dude,
disaster.
it was, bro. It was in California, and I was staying with my parents and my brother. And my brother was all into acting and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So my parents lived in this complex where all these rappers, artists would stay there while they were doing their stuff in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
So there was always traffic of all these party people, dude, like hardcore party. My brother was all like always hooked up with all of them. And so it was like, I left Florida because of some of the stupid stuff I was doing. And then went to California. My parents went and got me and they were like, just come with us, stay with us for a while until you figure out what you're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went over there and then it was like, It was like worse, dude. It was like a party every night.
Oh man.
But my parents were not like, they were oblivious to it, right? They were
Yeah.
like, yeah, we were in a nice complex, but then we were going out into all these like parties in these like different apartments. And dude, we went to this apartment, I remember, and there was these guys that were doing some type of acting. I don't know what they were doing, but they were partying, dude. There was all kinds of drugs everywhere. And my brother's like, yeah, let's try these shrooms. And dude, I had never tried shrooms. So I grabbed,
Did you know what they were?
I know there were mushrooms that they came from shit and then stuff like that. But other than that,
but like you had no background on to like what the effects were.
not really. Like I had done acid before and all that
Mhm.
shit, but shrooms never.
Mm.
So I just, dude, they had like this bag full of them, dude. And I just went in there and grabbed a handful and like just shoved my mouth full of shrooms, dude.
Jeez.
And I'm like chewing on this fucking, dude, it was so nasty.
Oh yeah, it was so disgusting. I remember that so profoundly. Like, oh my god, this is disgusting.
It was, dude. It tasted like you're just eating like dry shit or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like fucking trying to drink I had like, I think I was drinking a beer or something. I'm trying to drink this beer and swallow all this shit. And then I look over at my brother and he just has like this little thing like this. And I'm like, bro, dude, I just ate a handful of fucking mushroom and then you're just eating this. And it's like, that's all you need. And I'm like thinking to myself, oh, fuck. So, dude, we were sitting and I started getting that like weird stomach sensation and everybody's partying and I'm just sitting and my brother's like, you all right, bro? And I'm like, dude, I don't know. My stomach feels kind of weird. He's like, yeah, you're going to get a little stomach ache and stuff, but you'll be fine. And dude, it was kind of like your scene where you're like talking to yourself. You're like, bro, I think I need to throw up. There's something wrong. And my mouth started getting real watery and it was just deteriorating from there. And I'm like, I got to throw up. So I get up, dude, and I freaking go to the bathroom and puke. Dude, I've never puked in my life so much. But it was as soon as I finished puking, everything went to shit from there. Like it was like all these visuals and like I don't know, dude. Everything looked like it couldn't stay still. It was, but it wasn't like a drunk high, right? Like you know when you get drunk and the room kind of spins and shit.
Yeah.
Or like when you get really drunk, I should say.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that. It was more like a wavy kind of like feeling kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
Melting.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So I tell my brother, I was like, dude, we got to get out of this room, dude. There's just too much shit going on.
Yeah.
So he's like, dude, just go out in the hallway and just chill for a little while. I'll be right out there. Dude, I went to the hallway and it was like a long, like regular, apartment hallway. Bro, and I saw like, it reminded me of like the movie The Shining when like the hallway just keeps stretching and stretching, dude.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh man, this is not good. And I'm like, dude, I don't know why in my mind, I'm like, I got to get to the end of the hallway. And I'm thinking I'm running, right? To the end of the hallway. My brother comes out and he's like, what are you doing? And dude, I'm like, dude, I'm running towards the end of the hallway. And bro, I was literally like taking little like baby steps like this. He's like, bro, it's like you're not even walking. You're just taking it. And I'm like, bro, there's something wrong. He's like, I got to get to the end of the hallway. So I made his ass drag me all the way to the end of the hallway.
Yeah.
And dude, it was just like that for a couple hours, bro. And then after it was like, it just mellowed out. And then I was like, bro, don't ever give me that shit again. Dude. I was like, no, bro.
That was the main thing that got you in that trip?
Yeah, dude, that was it. I just got I think I focused too much on the hallway. And then it just ruined everything, dude.
Yeah.
And like I said, dude, before that I had done acid a bunch of times, all kinds of shit, and never had I always had friends that tripped out, had bad trips, never in my life.
Yeah.
And yeah, dude, that stuff, and never do that. And I've had multiple opportunities. Actually, recently somebody was trying to give me some shrooms, and I was like, no, bro. I was like, no, that's okay. Maybe if I'm at my house chilling and there's nobody at the house, maybe just the wife or something, I'll try it. But no, dude, I was like, no way.
It's interesting. I always describe it as like mushrooms deserve a certain amount of respect. Like if you ever are planning on doing them, you could roll the dice and like do them at some like festival or whatever, and you might have like a like a whole experience, like, oh my God, this is so cool. Like this type of like house music and stuff. It
Right.
might make you feel really like, oh my God, what's going on? Like in a good way. But it also opens you up to being in a very, like going to a very, very bad place. A bad place that most people just don't, they never think that it could get that bad in there until like it takes you there and you just don't know what the fuck to think or feel or know or maybe you fucked up, maybe you really fucked up and you're just not going to go back to normal and now you're just insane and in this like state of like insaneness. And that's a real possibility because that's not just scary, it's just it's intense.
Right.
There's a lot of intensity that goes along with it. And it's just very overwhelming. Um but but that's what you open yourself into whenever you just take them like willy-nilly, like you don't really have a plan or intention or like a reason why you're entering into this exposed state of tension. Um, and that's how I went in the first time. Like the first time I didn't have that type of respect for it. I was just like, like I've heard some stuff about it,
Right.
I'm with a couple of friends. One of them was Angel. my he and we were just like, all right, let's do it. We had like a bag of it and we decided to split it into three. And we didn't measure it or anything. We just like, all right, this looks like the same amount. Break this one apart. Oh, hey, no, we all get one, at least one cap, and
Right.
or like we need to even out the caps. Okay, all right. Now we thought, all right, my little bunch seems equal to yours, and that's what we took. And I had no idea what I was getting myself into. And it started out really nice. It started out like this rising sun type of feeling, like, oh my God, we're going up and up, and like I'm so excited for life. Like it's just amazing to be alive right now. And like this guy's in love, but he doesn't know how to say it to that one girl. But like right now, like you just gotta have the balls and just the confidence, just fucking say it. So like, bro, you gotta say it. And I felt that like all over my body. Like bro, you just gotta say it. And I started like really pressuring him, almost threatening. Like, bro, like this is, you just gotta set yourself free and fucking just say it. And so he called her. He called her in the middle of this.
That's fucked up, bro. That's just wrong.
He called her in the middle of this ordeal. And it started off pretty fucking cool. Like they were both like, "Oh my God, I never expected you to just call me out of the blue. How you been? I've been great. How are you? All this. Oh my God." And then it started to get a little, intimate. So he went outside to continue the conversation while, I just chilled inside and I just sat down and I was just feeling really good about the situation. Like, oh my God, like this guy's been through a lot, like he deserves like a good woman in his life. Like this is gonna be like so beautiful. And I think Bad Bunny was playing on the TV. And I'm just like watching one of the Bad Bunny like music videos or whatever. I'm like, like kind of bored. Kind of bored. So I like get up and I go outside and like he's over here talking with that girl, but I don't know. I just went outside and I felt the fresh air and
Yeah.
like I took it in and I was just like, wow. Like breathing is fucking like it's cool, man. Like it's awesome that like we could do that on autopilot. Like
Yeah.
we don't have to think about that. And it's just like it feels nice to have like the earth like come inside you and you like breathe it out and it's like Especially in that damp, like, you know, when it like smells like rain a little bit,
Yeah, exactly.
like breathing that in, like that. There's a certain like euphoria that comes with it. Like maybe it's just subtle or whatever, but
Right.
like you recognize it. And so I'm just like feeling really good. And then he like eventually ends this conversation with the girl. And then I say something, but I didn't say anything. I just said,
Oh my god.
and then he was like, he was giving me the same shit. Like we understood each other. I swear I understood what he was saying.
That is so wild, though.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, I can't, I couldn't believe it. It was just, it was exciting. We even said that to each other. Like, do you understand what the fuck I'm saying to you right now? Like, for real? And he was like, yeah, I fucking, like, I can't believe it. Yeah, for real. And then from there it took all sorts of like 90-degree angles everywhere. Like it was like, all right. I ended up melting at some point. Like I was on the floor, like, oh my God, I'm melting. Holy shit. Like what? Um, and then eventually I ended up like laying in bed, and then I had some kind of like uh breakdown where I was like, oh my God, like you really need to get your shit together, and like, you know, you really need to be more clean. Like there's no reason why there should be hairs on your toilet right now. Like that's fucked up. Like you should take care of that shit. Like you can't even take a shower right now because that fucking tub. Like when's the last time you cleaned that tub? Like for real, dude. Like get your shit together. And I don't. And then that's when I finally lay down and, you know, finally rested a little bit. Like, oh my God.
Dude, that's
Like,
wild.
oh shit. Then I see like my friend, we agreed to go to the gym the next day at like 6 a.m. or whatever. And it's already 6 a.m. And he texted me like, hey, you ready? And I'm like, oh my God, I'm coming down from this. And I'm like, like I was already done crying. Like I cried already. And I was just like, all right, like I really need to, you know, like confront life like in a real way. Like I really need to, you know, really get my shit together. So I was like, all right. And that starts with like keeping commitments, you know, like, all right, I made a commitment to this guy, and all right, like, let's go work out, you know, give it my all. And then talk, and then you'll have the opportunity to talk about this experience
Right.
with him after like working out. And that was super cool. Like,
Dude, I think that kind of